What's up, y'all? Station. How y'all doing?
Feeling good, feeling live, feeling real, feeling ready to talk about this movie. Pop, pop, boom. Come on, man.
What he said. What he said. All right. Later, Dylan.
No, let the dog in way. He's just sitting here smacking his tail, dude. I'm like, no, dude, my girl's labradoodle, man. Try to be like nice and let him keep the door open, but instead he's just sitting here smacking his tail on the floor.
I know the
But yeah, man, how y'all doing, bro? Good to see y'all, man. I feel like it's been like 1 or 2 weeks since we had the full panel. Vern wasn't able to make it last week.
I heard it was a great show.
You missed one.
Just 1 week.
Yeah.
Feels like 2 though, man. I don't know. But
Yeah.
good to see y'all, man. Coming off of that incredible movie, Storm of the Century, that I know y'all love so much, as much as me. But tonight we are here to review 2011's Adam Wingard directed You're Next, courtesy of my man Two Gun Pedro. Sent me and Robbie.
The cock says it's 2013. Turns out the cock was wrong.
The cock is wrong.
Yeah, it was 2011.
Was way off. Yeah,
I remember seeing the trailers for this.
Filmed and released in small release in 2011, but then it had a wide release in 2013.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Maybe the cock's semi.
I usually put everything I have on the cock, and I don't know why it would be wrong, but I believe
you would put everything you got on the cock.
he goes to Vegas. He's like, everything on the cock.
Everything.
The dealer's like, I don't know what that means.
The cock is never been
We've got to shoot.
But man, I tell you,
I'll build up the cock for the rest of my life. I'll be stroking that baby.
I'm sure.
So it's all bush and cock with this guy down there.
Hey, I mean, what else is life? But yeah, man. So it'd been a while since I seen this. So when Two Gun mentioned it, I knew about it, but all I kind of thought was like, yeah, I remember it, bits and pieces. I was like, kind of like The Strangers, but it a little similar in a way, you know, kind of like that random home invasion, but not really, honestly. And in my opinion, I like this a lot better. Even though I do like The Strangers, this is paced a lot better, also. but yeah, so when I went to see this, I remembered like the first 20 minutes, like that 20-25 minutes, but the rest felt kind of new to me, honestly, because it'd been a while. Honestly, I probably hadn't seen it till about 2011, 2013. So it was fun watching this, man, and it's cool seeing that Adam Wingard directed it. He's come a long way. Just directed that big ass blockbuster, Kong vs. Godzilla, and I know it said he directed and produced this. It also showed he had a hand in the score, which I think the score is incredible. We'll get to that at one point. But we get a little cameo from Ty West. Ends up being the first, well, not the first dude to get killed because we get an opening kill, but he is the first to get killed at the dinner party. Right to the head, man. That's a good kill. I think it's kind of funny that they keep talking about him being a director, and then the brothers like, you should get into commercials, man. It's the only reason I watch TV, man, just for the commercials.
I think it's truly like the highest art form.
Yeah, you could just tell he's like, just shut the hell up, dude.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool to see, how far Ty has come since then. Especially us reviewing it now after he has had a huge year in horror this past 2022 with X, then Pearl. Now he's got the Maxine, right, with the 3 X's in the middle. Yeah. That's probably coming 2023, I believe. I remember. Of course, I remember that opening scene. Of course, that was very memorable. Especially
we've all been there, right?
Exactly, man. We've all been there when the woman just ain't digging it, and you just totally are, and you're just like,
and you thought you put it on him. You know what I'm saying? The performance of a lifetime. They're playing with the goddamn string hanging off the fucking canopy.
But yeah, man, I tell you, man, I had a blast with this movie. I watched it 3 times this week.
Wow.
I watched it once, then I watched it
dedication,
second
time. Dedication.
Verno, you got some work to do, Verno.
I know. I'll be right back.
Verno's like, holy shit, man.
I only watched it once this week.
Really?
I watched it a couple months ago, so.
Oh, okay. See, you did mention you'd watched it, and then Two Gun had said something. I was like, you know what? Vern was just talking about this, so that is a perfect one to watch. So let's do that. And he sent me and Robbie a copy. So thank you, my brother. Shout out Two Gun, man. Always giving us some great recommendations. Seriously, man. Shout Two Gun out in the chat, man.
Two Gun figured out the secret. He figured out the algorithm. He's like, if I send them the movie, they'll cover it.
Yeah. Well, he knows it, man. Even if he just said, "Hey, check this out," he knows I'd do it, man. Because I wouldn't know. He always shows me.
I wouldn't be there, Two Gun, just so you know.
Yeah. But man, I had a blast with this. We get a new introduction to Barbara Crampton.
I didn't even realize that was her.
Really?
Yeah. She has a different look in this. Definitely, she has a different look. But she kind of retired from Hollywood for a while, so Adam Wingard kind of brought her back into the fold, man, and she's been going strong ever since. So man, like, shout out them for that, dude. That was awesome. Yeah. She always says that they brought her back and gave her like a revamp in Hollywood, or at least in the horror community, because everyone loves her, man.
And In Search of Darkness, she says that she kind of quit for a while because she felt like she aged out, right? Because in horror films, it's usually they're casting younger people, right? Yeah. And they wanted to bring her, so they got in touch with her, brought her in, and they wanted her to play this older lady. And then when they met her, they were like, "We're gonna have to put some makeup on you to make you look older," because she still looked awson. I think she still does. I follow her on Instagram
Jacob's
avidly. I'm just like, "What's up, Barbara? How you doing?"
That's what I knew. I was like, man, she looks a little older in this compare. That makes sense. The makeup.
She played the mother, right?
Yeah.
They made her look older.
She's the only one that didn't really get her own kill scene, I'd say. Which honestly, she's the mother. Honestly, I feel like that might have been a little too far, but it's enough just seeing that axe sticking out of her head. But this movie has some great kills, incredible kills, great practical effects. couple good jump scares too, man. I'm not big on the jump scares, but there's a couple good ones.
Way too many jump
There's a
scares.
couple good ones. What are you mumbling?
Way too many.
Come on, there's
Way
not
too many.
way too
Yeah,
many.
way too many. You know what? It's like, as I talked to you before. It's like the laugh track on a comedy. I don't need somebody to tell me when to be scared or to jump. I can do it once or twice, fine. But when it blares out your speakers like,
dude, I'll tell you what jump scare I never need to see again, and I guarantee I will continue to see it. Is somebody puts their hand on someone's shoulder?
It's
so fucking annoying, and so many movies do
that one.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah, who does that? Who's walking up with their hands on people's shoulders unannounced?
Well, that's totally set up because the fucking brother obviously is trying to not let the father see the guy in the bedroom pissing in bottles and shit.
Good call,
you know, which it's got a good twist too. Real fucked up twist, man. To be honest, man, just real greed, just pieces of shit. These people are.
Well,
man.
I knew that girl.
Do what they did.
The guy's girlfriend, I knew something was up with her. She had that look. That bad girlfriend look that you see in all the movies.
Oh, and she's gross, man. Like trying to bang me next
have sex with him.
Mom.
Yeah,
that's so.
Well, I mean, she
never want to do anything fun.
She was trying to take advantage of the situation.
Right?
You can't really blame her for that.
Yeah.
Why would you even say something like that?
This conversation is over.
I know. At least he wasn't that weird.
Right.
Where he's like, why you're making this harder than it has to be, man?
Yo, their banter was the best already.
I love Felix in this movie, man.
Yeah. I would have banged her, but that's
man. She fucked him up good.
I just had to kill my own fucking brother. What am I paying you guys for? But you get this Australian chick, man, who is just badass, man, just kicking ass and taking names and chewing her bubble gum, bro. Like seriously. I think this movie's great though. One of the better I guess it's past 2010, so one of the better slashers though, man. I guess there's a couple extra jump scares that aren't needed, but I don't really pay attention to it just because I guess I'm just so used to it now. And then I'm so used to getting so many shitty jump scares that never work for me. Where I was like, I got one or two that actually I was like, oh no, because I was so into it. I was like, actually, that kind of got me a little because they never get me. So for me, I was like, okay, I was like, I'll forget the couple shitty ones because they got me. Even to get me on one is rare as hell. I always see everything coming. Even when I saw even the one under the bed, somehow I kind of jumped on that. Maybe I was just like,
that's the one that got me, bro.
That's the one that really got me. I don't know if I could think of another one, but that's the one that got me. So I kind of let those go because I'm like, you can get me on one just because nobody can ever get me.
Bro, I almost pissed myself in that under the bed scene. I'm not going to lie.
That was a good one, man. And it's like they're in the house the entire time. Like at least one of them was in the house. Like the father's like, he's like, you think the one that killed my wife is in the house? And she's like, I reckon he is. It's like he's been in the house the whole damn time while y'all are just chilling,
Pissing in bottles and shit.
Yeah.
But,
in the closet.
As one does.
Yeah. So man, I had a blast with this, man. There's really not much I would say badly about this. I mean, like Scarpat said, maybe a couple extra jump scares, but they're forgiven on my part. Honestly, man, I'm gonna have to hear what you guys have to say. Maybe you'll say something that maybe sticks out, and I'm like, oh, okay. But there's not much I can say badly about this. I had a blast with it. I watched it 3 times, you know what I'm saying? Once with my girl, once after that, and then I just watched it before the show, man. I think it's great, man. I think it's perfectly paced, keeps you energized throughout the whole thing. Like I had fun, dude. Like even the time watching it just now, that fucking jump scare under the bed still got me. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, man, I like this, dude. Like, shout out to Gun, bro. This is a good one, bro. Thank you for showing me this one again. Fable, my man, I want to start you off because I know that you are a little time crunch with your phone. What'd you think, my brother? First time watching this?
First time watching this. This one for me is a mixed bag. There's some stuff that I really liked about it, and there's some stuff that I didn't like about it. There's some wonky acting in this to me, a little bit silly at times. I like I like the whole like change of pace in the movie, right? Because it starts out with like it's going to be a home invasion, right? And everybody's dying. Then it turns out that it's like you know, the kids are involved trying to kill their parents and stuff. So it's one of those things. And then it finally ends up being like everything turns on them. And now they're being hunted by this girl, right? Like she's
I
the
love
freaking
like the Home Alone trap.
super assassin, in this movie. So I like things about that. I like the music. I thought some of the music in this movie was pretty good. There was some standout score in this, especially towards the end.
When she set up the traps and shit.
Yeah. But like you said, there's been similar, and I think there's been better in this genre, in this kind of movie. So yeah, for me it was a mixed bag. But overall entertaining. I liked it. You know, I wanted to see how it was going to end, and that's really what it's all about. You know, if I want to know how this thing is going to wrap up, it's pretty good. You know,
Heck yeah, especially with the ending, man. You know, the guy kind of trying to pleaded out that she was going to be the witness, and then
you knew that wasn't going to work. I mean,
they invited the wrong girl to the damn house.
Right, seriously.
And they said that in the movie.
I love it though, because then he's like, why the fuck not? You know, and just then she gets shot, but because the whole time too.
It was a little bit predictable too. That's another thing. I kind of figured out way ahead of time that one of them was involved. Yeah, I don't know if you guys got that feeling like, somebody here is trying to murder
just
everybody.
The way they're
the younger brother gave it away for me.
Around,
Felix, I think, was the giveaway.
Yes.
Especially but I think that was intentional because I did not see the Crispin.
No, that's the one that surprised me. Middle brother surprised me.
I thought that was going to just show up to be like, is everything okay? And get his head cut off by that fucking axe trap.
That's what I thought too. Because
I'd have preferred that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was cool that the girl was. It was cool that the girl was like, you know, she was heroic, but she was more
Jane
than heroic.
McClane.
She was like fucking Rambo. Like she was a step above.
I would say more like MacGyver.
More like Under Siege.
I'd say more like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
Just because you grew up with survivalists don't mean that you know how to set up all those traps. That was a little ridiculous.
Even Felix said, man, he's like, she fucked him up.
She was real visceral. Like she was an animal. She killed like two of them. Really killed them.
First dude she killed, I was kind of like, damn, she's kind of savage. Like she clocked him once, clocked him twice, then make sure the edge went in that bad boy. Like I get it, but Jesus.
On the rewatch, I noticed on that scene, you've got the two brothers that were involved in it. They kind of give each other a look like, oh shit,
because they're like, what do we do?
We thought she was.
Yeah, it was good, man. Anything else you want to say, Fabe?
No, man. Definitely glad I watched it. Thank you for recommending it too, Gun.
Heck yeah, brother. Scarpad, my man. First time watching? What'd you think?
First time watching. Watched on the cock. Thank you for the cock. It really did. You know,
the cock came through, man.
Cock came through. As it always does. Always does. Well, to be quite honest with you, I wasn't feeling this movie at all for the first half hour. In fact, the first half hour, nothing fucking happened in this movie except for the chick getting banged in the beginning. It took a long time.
Cool, the guy.
I looked at my watch half an hour before it got to the whole dinner scene. Half an hour. The movie's only an hour and 34 minutes.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Long time.
Yeah, it's called Act 1.
But it's pretty standard.
But I think it turned around for me. I enjoyed it in the end. I started getting into a lot more with the girl, you know, the reveal that she's going to be the survivalist one. I thought her character was good, although she turned a bit too much into MacGyver with some of those intricate traps that probably would have never worked in real life, the camera thing and all that. Plus, another thing that got me in this movie is people really, were you getting stabbed? Do you fight for your fucking life? That brother getting stabbed. He's getting stabbed 5 times with screwdrivers, and he's standing there just looking at the guy.
Some people go in shock, bro.
Like
that's his brother.
But
he's watching his brother
kill him.
He's probably already in shock from the fucking arrow he took in his fucking back.
They all did it. Not too many of them really fought back.
The dad got slit in the neck. What do you?
They didn't really have a chance. Yeah.
The wonky part in that is when he tells the other guy, "Oh, are you stupid? You're getting your DNA everywhere." After he stabbed his brother with 5 different knives.
Right.
Worried about DNA.
Yeah, they weren't really all that smart in the end.
But I get the idea. He just found these dudes at a fucking bar.
Yeah.
Seriously, because he said that he's like, I thought you guys just served together. So he met, they were just some random fucking army guys that he met.
Yeah.
Right. I remember. I think back to a movie called "I Love You to Death" with Kevin Kline, where he hires a couple of hitmen to take out his wife. That he finds him in a bar like that. Probably a similar type thing. But I think the last hour of this movie I did really enjoy, and there are some great kills in it. You don't really, but the characters to me overall just felt kind of generic. Other than the girl, they didn't really stand out all that much. They were just there to be killed. You didn't really know their names. The movie felt a little generic to me, but I did enjoy the last hour. I think that last hour kind of redeemed it for me in the end. Yeah. And I did overall enjoy it.
It's a bit of a slow setup at first, but I at first I was thinking the same. I was like, dang, it's taking a bit to get into this. But once it gets in, man, I'm fully damn invested. And yeah, the characters I really didn't care about, but they get picked off so quick. I don't think it's really meant to be like, oh, plus, I would say I liked our Felix and the girl the best,
Yeah.
And then the one brother gets that Felix kills. He's kind of like the asshole, like they all kind of have their problems. You can tell that they're like this family. They even say like, we haven't gotten together in a long time, so it's going to be interesting, to see how.
Well, the brother, he got like multiple arrows in the back.
Just one.
In the front.
Once.
I thought he got more than once.
Just one. It was that they're like holding it, and
around
then
with the arrow,
and
then that dude took a lot before he really went down.
But he was on Vicodin, so.
Okay, Vicodin probably helped.
Right.
Remember, because he asked his girl, he's like, "You got any Vicodin?" She's like, "Yeah." And then when he gets stabbed or gets the arrow, he's like, "Drugs, babe. I need drugs."
Hey, you piece of shit. Why are you calling me a piece of shit? Because you're always into some shady shit like this.
This is how we would talk to each other if we were in this situation. This is how we would talk to each other.
You son of a bitch. I've been shot.
Yeah. He's like,
I'm not shot anymore. If Dylan stabbed me 5 times, I would look at him and be like, Dylan, you're literally breaking my heart right now. What are you doing?
Seriously.
Of course, none of those people knew anybody was there, so all 3 of those people could have just walked in with crossbows, killed them all at the dinner scene, and the movie would have been over with.
I love though, like the family dynamic, kind of like, cause you can tell they kind of fight a lot, because once they're talking about running out, and the brother's like, he's like, I'm the fastest. He's like, but I got a fucking arrow in my back. He's like, what does your legs have to do with your back?
And you guys never give me credit. I've been the fastest of us all.
Right. And then the girl's like, no one ever believes me. No one ever thinks I can do anything. No, we believe in you, sweetheart.
Another one where there's no redeeming
There's a good dynamic there.
Yeah, that dinner was very believable. We were all screaming at each other.
Yes,
for sure.
You just don't get much of them together, but I think the little bits you get of them kind of like bickering, like when they're out front and the dad's like they're like making something, and then the one brother's like, Dad, man, it's so awesome, dude. And you can tell Crispin is like, you fucking suck up, man. Like, just there's little hints there that I like seeing, because I got a big family, so I know how it is to argue back and forth and just butt heads. So I kind of noticed some of that, Scarpa, anything else you wanted to say, my brother?
No, that's it.
All right. Steph, my man. What
I'm up.
Think, bro? First time watch for you?
I actually watched it a few months ago when you first dropped the list for this stuff. I remember always wanting to see this movie when I saw the trailer back in 2011. Forgot all about it, and so when I saw you listed it, I was like, oh, I'll watch that. So I watched it then, and then I watched it last night, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I wrote a few things, just bullet points. I really liked the line where she's like, yeah, she fucked him up good.
Yeah.
Thought that was really comical. I think it had great pacing. It knew how to cut the tension with levity without breaking the momentum. The movie reminded me of the scene in Watchmen when Rorschach was in prison. He's like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me, because that's like the vibe it was.
Yeah.
The oldest brother was hilarious. Oh, my bad.
No, I was just gonna say, did it also remind you of when Rocket said that in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I was gonna say I just watched The Bronx Tale, and then if you guys ever seen that, when the bikers come into the bar like trying to start shit, and then Sonny goes and locks the door, he's like, "Now you guys can't leave because you locked in here with us." So I thought of that as soon as I saw that.
But yeah, all of those are actually good examples. But I'm mad I didn't think of the Rocket Raccoon one actually. But the older brother was hilarious. I liked him when he was talking about commercials and shit, talking about how that was a fine art. And then great music, especially towards the end, like when she's like building the traps. That's when it really stood out for me. Now I want to say that's not negative, but something I disliked about it was that I wanted to know more about the character motivations, like for the brothers to just kill their family, just we didn't know why. If they would have, and I don't
even know how much money.
Oh, it had to. He was talking about giving everyone like hundreds of thousands, so it had to be
millions. I'm guessing.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, I think if they would have actually spent longer on the first act, like having the family converse more, seeing certain conversations alluding to this later, because it kind of comes out of nowhere at first. Like it's the brothers. They just want to kill the family for money, and like, why are all the brothers not in it? Why is it just these two? You know, I would have liked to see
that
more from that aspect.
Yeah, he was a dick.
He was at the dick.
The oldest, yeah.
He was talking.
He was the biggest kiss ass too. Oh, thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, he was.
The older brother's like the brother in Get Out, when he's trying to like wrestle with the fucking dude and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's that kind of fucking dude, and we've all seen family dynamics like that. You know what I'm saying?
He was one after another. He's like fucking with you as soon as he was done fucking with Crispin. He turned to start fucking with the other one.
That's a bit unprofessional.
Yeah, Crispin, you're not fat. You just got a round ass face or whatever.
I've been saying that my whole life.
I tell you, those home invaders, man, they were pretty fucking incompetent. They were so fucking stupid.
Yeah. They look high too. Homeboy look high.
Yeah,
they look like
they weren't incompetent at first. At first, they're like goddamn.
Right, they're quite accurate.
Once you took away the crossbow,
once you had to come in the house and do something,
they're fucked.
It's like me at the beginning of a live stream when I'm doing a good job, and then 3 hours in, and I'm just like, fucking
five drinks in.
Yeah, and that was another part that kind of bothered me too. Was the in and out. Like it was like we're in the house now, we're out the house now. We can't.
Can you just catch somebody?
Now we can't out the that shit. The whole thing. Oh man. Go ahead, Steph, though. My bad.
Oh no. But you know, it was like my only gripe with it, but it's kind of like a big factor because the characters did seem kind of weak, one-dimensional because of that. Like we didn't know their motivations behind the shit. But beyond that, I think it was dope. Like I like the whole home invasion turn on its head type of thing, where it's like, you know, she was actually the most savage killer of them all. Even. You know, we saw people kill people. It was like really quick, but she was the brutal one. You know, she was the one that delivered like the slasher kills. So I thought that was cool though. But other than that, I think it was a great time.
Well,
fun
to be
time,
fair,
great pacing.
That big hunking piece of glass in her leg, man. That was the biggest piece of glass I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, I know. That thing was huge.
Yeah, it was about as long as Storm of the Century.
Zing.
Is that all you wanted to say, my brother?
Yeah. Good time. It's a good time.
Yeah. Vern, what'd you think, brother? Obviously not your first time, because you said you saw it a month ago for your first time.
I watched it on the cock not long after we did Rogue Collective was saying we should do Ready or Not, which we did. Rogue Collective. We did it a couple months back with a handful of us. I know Robbie wasn't here for that one, neither was Scarpad. But for me, that was, first of all, I liked it. I liked the movie quite a lot. It's pretty goddamn solid, pretty entertaining, good pacing, good kills. Aaron's a badass character. I agree with Pedro. Fucking awesome final girl. Like one of the toughest final girls in horror history that I can think of.
She's smart as hell too.
But that was kind of part of my issue with it. I have a hard time. Ready or Not came years after, but it's so much more fun. But it's so similar in so many ways, where you've got the new wife or the new girlfriend going into the family, and you find out stuff about them. But Ready or Not is just like so much more comedy in it, and better kills almost all around. I think is a better movie, so it's hard for me not to compare it to that, even though it came out way ahead of it.
Years later.
My biggest issue, and I was gonna say it's a small issue, but kind of not, because I never predict stuff. Like I'm lucky in being stupid in that way, where I never see shit coming. But this, I saw every bit of it coming. Yeah. I could tell with the one brother that set it all up that we're supposed to learn about first, and then I knew Crispin too. For what, I mean, it was just a guess, but it was pretty predictable as far as that went. And then
Crispin's making faces and shit too the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he just seems too much of a little pussy, little goody two shoes guy that you almost, that you know there's something up with him. And then as soon as he says to the girlfriend, "I've never seen you act like this," that cued me right there. Like, oh, he's never seen her act like this. He wouldn't have invited her if he had seen her act like that. And when she's like, "Oh, I never told Crispin about my past," it's like, oh, well, then it's clear as fucking day. Which is to Fable and stuff, your guys' point about it wanting more motivation. It's like, it's a tricky fucking dance to do, with giving you the motivation without making it too blatantly obvious that they're the ones that want to kill it, or that are trying to kill the parents. But overall,
I mean, they could have done. Oh
no, go ahead.
They kind of handled something like this in Knives Out, where it's like, just they had all these characters bickering about shit throughout the beginning, so you thought it could have been any one of them. Like I mean, different creative team writing, maybe they weren't ready for that type of setup, but
that's like that. There's no red herrings. They never misdirect you in any way.
Yeah, they're intentionally doing that, right? And I haven't seen Knives Out or whatnot, but there are very subtle things in the script that allude to their motivation. Like when the dude mentions that his dad is in the defense department or whatever, right? Yeah. He's a defense contractor. He's making all this money profiteering off of war. Like he says that, right? Like that's a little bit of motivation. The way that the older brother Drake treats the other brothers, the way that they react, and like, so there are little things there, but I don't,
strong enough to hire a killer people to murder your family like
you
that.
You gotta think the strangers.
You know what rich white people do?
Yeah.
I mean, watch Knives Out, and that setup is more believable in the character's motivation for taking someone's life.
The other thing is
Knives Out, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's intentionally trying to be more of an Agatha Christie whodunit murder mystery, right?
Exactly.
That's not.
I'm just saying. I think that would have benefited more for this setup. Like I said, the characters. It could have been there, but it still wasn't strong enough.
No, I agree.
For me to,
I think they
also
went
there's
into
no
the third
indication
act
in this
trying to explain it, and like kind of we guessed it already, and then when they finally get to it, it's already like really into the movie.
In most of these movies, it's the parents are assholes and they don't intend on sharing the money with the kids. That came up in the new Santa Claus, the movie, the killer Santa Claus. It's in the theaters there, Violent Night, a little bit.
Oh, shit.
And but that's not the case here. They seem like pretty good people that probably at some point would have shared their money with their kids.
Exactly.
So to do what they did, the movie didn't give enough motivation.
I don't know. When you raise some cold-blooded kids like that, I don't know how good they could have been.
Something happened.
No problem.
That's part of it.
There's something involving the idea of the firstborn. Drake's the firstborn. He's the oldest, right? I think the idea is that like they want to take his fucking share. I think this is all aimed at Drake and not necessarily the rest of the family. But at the same time,
with the little sister that killed her.
They
did,
but they say something about the mom though being doesn't drink because she's on medication.
Yeah, there's a history there that we're not given for sure.
Right, but they do come across as very likable. Like that dad is quite charming, and then the mom with her line talking about how I just want to let you guys know how much this means to me and how much, you know what I mean. They come off to me, the way I read them, is like maybe the two most likable characters in the movie other than Aaron.
And they all seem spoiled, the kids. Like they obviously were trusted by
really
kids. Like
they're fucking entitled fucking kids.
I think Felix and Crispin just wanted it all for themselves. I think that they were like, awesome. These guys got killed too in the process. We don't got to give nothing up to them. But also, I wanted to say that the The Strangers came out in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a movie that obviously was like all about being random. So I think Adam Wingard might have used that to his advantage, thinking people are going to go into this. Kind of like with Smile, when people saw the trailer, we were like, that just looks like something we've seen before. But when you saw it, people were like, holy shit, this is awesome. You know, this is not like what we thought the trailer kind of gave off. I haven't seen the trailer for Your Next, but I just feel like this was meant as like a random home invasion.
Home invasion, yeah.
And then obviously we find out that the father's like, we've been targeted, you know, like this isn't random, you know? So I think that was a big part where Adam Wingard was like, Strangers did so good. I got an idea like that where I'm going to take it and make it where it's, you know, but it's not going to be random. We're going to make it look random at first, and then we're going to switch it up.
The only part
that spin on it and everything.
The only part that kind of like what do you call it? Like kind of makes that not make sense is the fact that they keep writing "You're next" on the wall. They don't really have to do that
once. I didn't get that. Well, they did it a couple times.
They're doing
the neighbor's house.
They're doing that because it's the name of the movie.
Right, I know. Even at the end when it splashes and says "You're next," I'm like, I still don't really fucking get it. Who's next?
Yeah, who's next?
You guys are about to be next. I mean, but Garcia, man, I watched Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Awesome, dude. I'm gonna watch that shit again. That's already, dude. That's
Terminator vibes.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Blu-ray or 4K release. That's a straight up pickup. That's a straight up,
man. I haven't seen that yet.
Christmas movie every year. I'm putting.
It was shot in 16 millimeter, like it had a nice
cinematography,
like quality to it.
Gorgeous on it. I also recommend watching another movie he did called VFW, and it has quite a few guys. It has the Cobra Kai master. I want to say who else is it? It has a few guys, and now I can't think. I'll have to look it up, but there's a few guys in that are bigger names.
Yeah, VFW was an entertaining movie.
It has Stephen Lang, William Sadler, Fred Williamson, Martin Cove, and David Patrick Kelly, George Wendt, and I think that's about those are the big names. But
George Wendt,
like
you just sold
guys.
me.
What was that?
George Wendt, you just sold me. Norm,
dude. It's so good because they're like older veterans hanging out at this bar. Check that one out.
That's what's
the guy's name that directed it, Joe Bagos. He has a very interesting cinematography look, man, about all his movies. I really like because you could tell that he probably doesn't get the most money for his movies to direct them, but I think he
makes it work.
Uses what he gets very well, man. I think he has a good eye for cinematography and the camera
colors and shit.
The way the dialogue is in those movies, that movie is interesting too. It's very realism, lifelike, people talking over each other. It's a lot like a DHS episode.
Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Yeah.
That's whole debates over shit too.
So many horror references, man. Like, there's like a girl and a boyfriend, and they just keep going back and forth. Like, no, this movie, I don't really.
He's
want
like
to say it,
Alien.
You guys to
Covenant.
But yeah, dude, they're just going back and forth, man, and I love it, man. Just like how we do. We're like oh, man, I fucking love the first Halloween, and then Robbie be like, no, man, I fucking love this Halloween.
Like, are you fucking serious?
Wait. If you think I would pick any Halloween over the first one, you're out your mind.
Right.
I was just making up bullshit.
Well, you're just kind of a casual horror fan, Robbie. We know that.
Yeah, I'm just
casual.
We're doing it right now.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely recommend checking out Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I honestly want to try to fit that in for a review if possible because it was fun, man.
Yeah.
Stick it in.
We'll have to stick that.
Let's do a show on Christmas night,
dude. If I didn't have, dude, I'd be down because if we might have to try and fit something in. Well, because if we weren't doing the show next week, man, that's what I would have put, man. But this one, like that movie, just got announced like a couple weeks ago, so there's no way I can.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was a surprise, kind of.
But yeah, it was awesome. Definitely recommend that.
Last thing I was gonna say real quick is just,
ahead, brother.
And I don't even know if I fully agree with, but like the way I remember, I don't know if I agree with myself is what I'm saying. The way I remember it is like, especially on the rewatch, not too far into the movie, maybe like 45 minutes into the movie, you've got a bunch of people picked off, and the majority of the people that are left in the film are in on it at that point, other than Aaron. The mom and the dad are gone, and the brother is like the older brother is the only one left that doesn't know what's going on other than Aaron, because you've got too many people involved in the scheme. You know what I mean? Especially with the girlfriend involved, and Chris been out there running around doing his thing. So it took away on the second watch, and I saw more negative than I actually am on it. I'm nitpicking a lot, but the second watch, it wasn't as interesting because of that.
I really like what Kirby said right here about a bit of a social commentary in it too. The father's made his fortune as a war profiteer, and now there's the blowback of his children wanting the money, using soldiers as hitmen. I didn't even think of that, but that is that's a good point.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't read that because I hadn't thought anything about what this movie was saying, and I was going to steal it, but now it's out there. So.
Sorry, brother.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Was that it, my man?
Yeah.
Robbie, what do you got to say? First time watch for you as well?
First time watch. And when I saw this on your list, I was like, what's your next? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, God.
I like the trailer.
This is one of those things.
Kind of gives off that vibe.
Then I found out Two Gun was the reason why we're doing this, and he sent me a copy of it. So Two Gun, once again, thank you so much. And Aaron did have a higher kill count than anybody. So I watched it, and
she was the real killer.
I loved it. Now, it took me completely by surprise because I don't really like home invasion movies, as odd as that sounds. Like, I love horror. I'm a casual fan. I'm into all this kind of stuff. But home invasion is not really my kind of thing. Like, The Strangers was not my cup of tea. And that was a big movie when it came out. Yeah, that was a big movie when it came out, but it just didn't do much for me. As far as home invasion goes, my favorite might be like Straw Dogs. That's like back in the 70s, right? With Dustin Hoffman. I love that. But so I wasn't expecting much out of this, right? And I'm watching it, and it starts off very typical, like home invasion kind of movie, right? It's all about the family dynamic. We're going to get to the home, and then bad people are coming. We know that threat's coming because of the opening of the film. I thought the opening of the film was great, right? I was like, this feels like a 1982 slasher right now, right? I was digging the vibe. I'm a Barbara Crampton fan, so I'm waiting for her. The first act to me was great.
Games.
And I even told myself, I remember at one point, straight up, the next act of this film, the first half of the second act is going to be the family dynamic, right? Them arguing and bickering with each other. No, they just start killing fucking people, bro. They just start killing people left and fucking right. I get into it. And then Aaron all of a sudden starts like taking charge. And you're like, what's going on there? So I'm intrigued by that. And then the movie turns. Now, I've heard many people have criticized this film for being very typical in Act 1 and maybe the beginning of Act 2, and then it, and some of y'all have kind of echoed that, right? Like the first bit of the movie, nah, but then it's pretty good, right? That's intentional. Like Dylan was saying, they're using the success of things like The Stranger, or The Strangers, my bad, The Stranger, Them, stuff like that, right? This is inspired by those, but then it takes that idea and it keeps subverting it, and it goes into dark horror comedy, right? And that's when the music changes, like when the tone changes, when like they know, when the filmmakers feel like the audience is in on it now, that's when the tone of this movie changes. It becomes more Home Alone. It becomes more preposterous. It becomes more Aaron focused, and the music goes synth. Because if you look, the first act of this movie, all the music is the typical fucking shit you're gonna hear in a horror film.
Suspense,
right?
Shit.
And then all of a sudden it's like, and all of a sudden it's like John Carpenter shows up, and you're like, what the fuck's going on, right?
Yes.
And then it's not the most gory movie that we watch, but it's pretty gory for its time, right?
Dude, and that fucking blender.
She was savage.
We gotta talk about our favorite.
That was the top kill, though.
That wasn't. What happened to Felix? I killed him with the fucking blender. Like, leaning into it, man. So it leans into the comedy. It leans into the idea that hey, everybody, you like these movies like The Strangers and other home invasion movies. You like this kind of stuff. Here's another one. And then they take us into like what I think is pure the essence of what we love about 80s horror cinema, right? They take that into the third act. And it goes preposterous. It gets crazy. It has fun with itself. and it has those twists in the ending. Some of them I saw coming, some of them I didn't. I didn't see Crispin. I saw Felix and Z. That was obvious to me. Z being my favorite character. What can I tell you? I love a smoky eyeshadow. Like, I don't know, man. Something like I was like kind of hoping they were going to get it going, even with the dead Barbara Crampton mom in the bed, right? There was a part of me that was like, I'm here for this, right?
I would have done it.
Right.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was paced very well. The music was great. I love how the movie plays with the audience. Like at first it's like, here you go, guys. You've seen this before. And then they intentionally are like, just kidding. And I was watching the behind the scenes stuff on this Blu-ray, which actually I'm glad that Two Gun Pedro sent us a Blu-ray that actually has special features listed that work. Unlike American Mary. But I listened to a little bit of the commentary too. But that is intentional. They intended to make a movie that was obvious and typical at first and then go crazy with it. The way that they like I was saying, I've seen so many of these kind of things. And I'm like, okay, so for the next 20 minutes, it's going to be all about them bickering. No, they immediately start getting taken out. When Ty West gets taken out, I was surprised at how quick everything else lined up. Some things don't make sense. Did they know that the sister was going to run out? Somebody mentioned this in the chat because they had that wire at the right fucking length. You know what I'm saying? But like,
right.
Mm-hmm.
I love shit.
I mean, it could have fucked up anybody running that if it would have maybe not decapitated the brother.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, if it was the brother, it might have hit him in the chest. But it was one of the best scenes.
Shit was perfect though. But it was great though. Like I loved it. I thought the gore was great. I loved the performances. I've seen people other than us criticize some of the performances. I didn't mind it. It felt like I was in on the ride, and that I at a certain point, not only was I on the ride, I was in on the joke, right? And I loved how it played with that. And I was incredibly surprised by this movie, which I thought was going to be just another generic strangers fucking kind of thing. And I was not looking forward to it. And holy shit, did it surprise me. I adored this fucking film, man. Adored it. I loved it.
I think her getting that, like, because normally in any other movie, it would be like straight decapitation. I think that she gets smacked back and just like it's not a.
It just slits her throat, deep cut.
That hits harder to me. Yep. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, oh God, you know, it's like.
And even
I think it'd been better off for her to get decapitated because then she wouldn't have felt it. At least, you know, it's like she felt like that would have been rough. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it does make me wonder who they're banking on running out first because Felix did chide the younger sister to do the running towards the end of that whole scene. So it was kind of like it was like a plan, but I don't know. Like
it makes it even worse when you know that they know what's going on out there too, and they're just letting their sister
reacting.
We're just go full speed. We're gonna open the door. They won't expect you to be coming out full speed. Yeah. It's like you fucking asshole.
Hey,
and that's what I'm saying about the motivations. Like how dark do they have to be to watch I can understand that people, it's still dark, but people hiring hitmen to take someone out, but for them to be there and watch their family get viciously murdered.
Yeah, he's watching.
That's another level,
have
bro.
To do that in front of me, dude.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's part of the issue with the plot is they didn't have to be involved in the least bit. If you're going to go out and hire people to be marksmen and shoot Ty West through the head, you can just do it when you're not there. Just have somebody wipe people out. I mean, maybe it'd be harder to sell that as like a coincidence that they all died other than the two. So I guess
they stepped out to go get something for the family dinner, and when they came back,
yeah, the two walk out and the house blows up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a little loose, but I'll forgive it.
Yeah.
No, it was still a good time, but you know,
I love to see her explain her way out of that situation when the police come.
Well, she couldn't.
Got a cop
she couldn't. If the cop didn't get killed by the axe, he would have shot and killed her. Because and he had good reason to. There was a million bodies around, and she was killing somebody when he walked in. So
that's why savage. She kind of maybe needed to keep the brother Crispin alive.
Right. Well,
I don't know. It's like
that's another thing that I love. Another thing I love about it is it brings in some of that Wes Craven stuff that I always love talking about, where it's like, who are the bad guys? Like, you know, and it feels, if anybody's ever seen the Don Coscarelli episode of Masters of Horror, Incident on and Off a Mountain Road, there's a lot of that in here, where it's about a chick. Incident on and Off the Mountain Road is about a chick who's with a dude who's a crazy survivalist, and he starts teaching her all this shit. she winds up leaving him and comes across this fucking serial killer monster dude named Moonface, who's like killing people and fucking gouging out their eyes so that he can put them on as a scarecrow in front of the full moon and their eyes are glowing, right? It's really good. Incident on and off Mountain Road. So she's able, though, to like fight back because she's learned these skills from this douchebag husband of hers, right? And I got vibes of that from this, right? There's a lot of past that we don't know. I sometimes think it's refreshing when we get movies that don't over-explain characters' pasts or motivations or stuff. I understand how it can be annoying, sketchy, spotty in certain spots. But in this movie, it's like, to me, this is more about you're going into this movie, we've changed it, they let the audience in on that, and then it's just a fun ride. So I don't think, it's not so much it's not a character study. It
doesn't need to be the character study, but it would help the plot.
It's a structure study is what it is, and it's playing with subverting structures. And part of the theme of the movie is the subversion of expectations, which we see structurally in the film. We also see with the characters, right? Because nobody would think that Aaron would be this fucking crazy
Sarah
fucking
Connor.
survivalist, like badass Macaulay Culkin type from Home Alone 2, when he's more weathered, But that's what I love about it. It's a study it's a study in horror structure and how to play with that. And I love it when movies realize what they're doing. They're not fully self-aware, but they realize what they're doing and they play with that. And I really appreciate stuff like that, because this could have just been like any other home invasion fucking generic horror movie, and it would have gotten a 3 you digs.
I think you're being harsh on the subgenre. There's a lot of good home invasion movies out there. It's pretty, you ever seen Hush?
They listed it in the chat.
There's a lot of good
Happy
shit.
Times, Hush.
There's one that you guys put me on.
Dave Flanagan.
I thought it's superior to this, and it's probably had a less budget or the same budget, and that's You Better Watch Out. That had a family home invasion angle to it.
Subvert the tropes.
That was masterfully done compared to this one.
The budget on this one, by the way, if anybody's curious, is $1 million. And that means that they made this practically in a cave.
Right.
With scraps.
They made this movie in a suburban home with scraps.
Right. That's probably where most of the budget went, is just renting that fucking house.
Right.
I mean, maybe it was shot on a set. I don't know, but it was a nice looking house.
Silence is golden. Home Invasion isn't probably my favorite genre, but it scares me the most out of any horror movie because shit can happen. That shit can happen. Somebody can walk in your house tomorrow and do all this shit. So to me, it's the most scariest subgenre of horror.
Don't tell me that, Scarpet. I spent 41 years of my life telling myself otherwise, so I'm not scared every fucking night when I go to sleep.
I just heard an interesting discussion on this, and a lot of people during this discussion, they were talking about the older they get, the more these types of movies hit them. Because you're right. I used to, for years and years and years, I never locked my doors until semi-recently, especially having kids and shit, or having a kid. With my fiance, she moved from a rougher area, moved in with me, and she's like, "We are locking the fucking doors,
like
bro."
the doors.
I've always had
nobody out here leaves the door open. No,
not down here.
I've always had dogs, and with my Pom.
Even with my dogs.
Even my Pomeranian, he's a killer. Nobody's gonna come here and fuck with him. So.
Yeah, I've seen the blood. He's a savage.
So
my grandma taught me to always keep the door locked, whether you're at home or in your car. So I actually will keep the car door locked.
I'm
not giving my dog a chance to get shot or killed.
Yeah, I don't want my dog to go through that. Right.
I'd rather them be stopped at the door, and then I'd blast them through the door, man.
And I don't have a dog. I got a cat. That cat ain't doing shit.
Exactly.
That cat's gonna hide.
You never know, cat.
It's like no matter what, I don't want someone getting in my house. Period.
Right. I feel like.
So it's like better be safe than sorry. So it's like just lock up. That's how I've always felt. Even if people get so used to like, oh, I live in a good neighborhood. It's like that's more. I mean, yeah, but that means you have more nice stuff in your house. That's more likely to be
what
stolen.
happened in Home Alone.
Don't get me wrong. I don't live in that nice of a neighborhood. I was just stupid and careless for a lot of years. You know what I mean? I don't know. Lazy. This is one extra thing you had to do.
People out in the country, and like I live in the city, Huntsville, Alabama, but outside of the city limits, you're in the country, right? And people out there, they don't lock their fucking doors, but they got goddamn shotguns on their hips at all goddamn times, man.
Yeah. It's scary around. Just the thought of living in the country, like Hush. Hush is like that, where she's in a more
oh my god.
There's I like the opposite home invasion, like in where you go to a house in the country and just walk the fuck into someone's house and you get Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. Speaking of
walk into a cabin films. In the middle of the woods and get
a deadly ass virus.
Don't have
some shit.
But you guys want to talk about your favorite kill, and we could talk about its favorite kill in the score.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
I know Fable probably. We're already 55 minutes in. I know Fable. Like
this smoke coming out of his
phone's gonna overheat on us. But if you need to, Fable, you're always there. You can jump out for a few.
We'll go to the end of the review.
If you need to.
No, we'll go to the end of the review. No worries.
All right, brother. I just don't, I ain't trying to get your shit messed up over one review.
He's writing this down for his
we need you for the future.
He's writing this down for his grievances for the year, Dylan. He's like, I'll tell you what, my number one grievance on December 10th.
Christmas is coming up,
bitch. Had a fucking hour. And he kept going.
I'm old, and when I get these ideas about these movies, I feel like I gotta write them down because when it's time to talk, I'm like, I don't know. I had it in my mind.
Everything's all over there.
If it blows up, just go out and get yourself a nice jitterbug. You'll be fine.
As long as you're not using those chargers that Dylan gets at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, the Dollar Tree ones that Dylan gets.
Those chargers suck so bad. I plugged it in, and it was like, this charger is so weak, you have to either just stop using the tablet while it charges, or just take the charger off. It literally said it, like, it cannot charge while I'm using it. It says it will not charge because it's a shitty charger.
You got those ones where you got to lick the end before
you got to turn the tablet off, and like Bruno said, lick the end, and then it works. And you got to blow in.
Make sure you give it a good blow, like a cartridge.
Lick it, blow it, stick it.
Dude, I don't know what the hell's wrong here. I spent $1.99 on this thing. Why won't it work?
Dude.
No, I spent 99 cents on it, bro.
99 cents. Cool.
Dollar Tree.
The Dollar Tree, bro. Come on.
Well, luckily, I think I have a better one, but the cord's only like an inch long, like literally 2 inches long.
That's what she said.
Oh shit! Scarpad, you got me.
Yeah, that's what she said. All right. So yeah, I'll start. Favorite kill would probably be the blender kill. I'd say
that's the most innovative. Yeah.
Just that they don't. They don't do no lookaways or anything. I think that, like you said, that's the most innovative one. So good to me, and I don't think I've ever seen that one really before. Maybe though, I'm sure, but I like that one.
I can imagine like how hard is she pressing it on his head.
Really, I love though that it makes sense because then it's like it's broken, so because it could never do otherwise, and it's just enough showing to smack like a little top hat, baby, and plug it in, and then the score is just absolutely incredible. I love some of the music in it too. Like I forget the name of it, but the main song that's playing in the next door neighbor's house.
Yeah, what is that?
I have it on my phone. I just forget the name. It's because Two Gun sent it to me, and he was like, "I'm catching on to this one too." I was like, "Dude, I love it. That's a good song."
It's like a '70s tune. Yeah.
Let's see. It's
Peter.
Dwight T. Willie, "Looking for the Magic."
Yeah,
I love that song. That's a good one, man.
Song. Dwight Twilley was in the '70s.
So I love that.
At the beginning of the ninth configuration.
Yeah.
But the score, that's just regular music, but the score is absolutely incredible. Like Robbie said, once you get into the part where we know what's going on, and it's just all hell's breaking loose, and Aaron's fucking shit up. It goes into that John Carpenter synth, and it's just, the like it's so good, man.
Yo, this kind of Christmas Bloody Christmas had like cool ass synth music in it, like and it had a bad. Well, she wasn't as likable as Aaron, but it had a female protagonist that was believable. She's kind of a piece of shit, bro.
I was up and down with her at first, but I really do like her. You know, she was great. The chicks in it, just because at first I was like, man, she's a little slutty, man. You know, like she was like, she was just down.
Nothing wrong with that. We're sex
positive. She's just free. Yeah, she's free.
Yeah, but no, dude, she was great, man. She's just like that was just like one of those like she's a chick that you were like, I would love hanging out with this chick. You know what I mean? That was
Robbie was a good character
in Christmas.
He was a fucking actor, but he's a good character.
But I did not
know there's a dude named Robbie in there. Yeah,
I was really surprised by that Christmas Bloody Christmas. But yeah, man, the score in this is just great, man. It's so much better than it damn well should be for just like this regular 2011 slasher. Like this movie is fucking awesome. Because like Robbie said, Strangers is good, but it's very, very slow, man. I'm more of a fan of the sequel that came out. I think it was 2018 because it came out it was 2008 for the first one. I think 2018 for the second. I like Prey by Night a lot better because that one is way faster paced.
It was kind of cool in the trailer park. I had never really thought of that. Like that was how that was unique.
But yeah, I mean the Strangers has like two bigger actors in it, where obviously this was made with $1 million. So like they brought Barbara Crampton. I feel like they were like, dude, if we get Barbara Crampton, like that's a name for the horror community. Yeah. I feel like the dad was the biggest name in this, and he was more like a happy. I feel like he's one of the Happy Madison actors, like always in Adam Sandler movies.
They got him because Barbara Crampton's agent was his agent as well.
Oh, really?
Wow. Okay.
But I think he was great. You know, I really just enjoyed this, man. I think the music went great with this, man, and it really elevated it for me. And I was just, you know, obviously we say the music, you always are going to notice great music, and if you don't notice it, that's not a bad thing either. But dude, this music really stood out for me, and all I heard, I was like, did John Carpenter do this? You know what I mean?
He did,
but you know, he was definitely Adam Wingard, and them were influenced because it shows Adam Wingard worked on the score as well, or at least the music. Like me, he probably had the choice of what music was picked. But
so real quick, you were talking about the dad. That's Rob Moran. He's in a bunch of the Farrelly Brothers movies, like Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, Something About Mary, Shallow Hal. He's in all of them.
He's a big comedic actor.
I could have sworn he was in some Adam Sandler movies too. Maybe I'm tripping.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
might have been.
I love Shallow Hal though.
Another movie that would not be made today.
Yeah.
Oh my, no way. And you got, who's that guy in it? The guy that hypnotizes him.
Oh, Tony. He the giant. The self-help giant guru.
What the fuck is his name?
Tony something.
Tony Rich as fuck.
Tony Little.
Dude's balling.
He's like, I never knew in real life that like he's like some type of
motivation.
Whatever.
Motivation.
Oh, you're talking about Tony Robbins then.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins in that movie? I thought Tony Robbins.
That's how it all goes down. Jack Black gets stuck in an elevator with Tony Robbins, and he puts some fucking voodoo.
Tony Robbins like works with like NBA players and presidents and shit like that to like go and like give them motivational speeches when they need it and shit like that. That's hilarious, man.
He's been doing it.
Hey, it's Tony Robbins here, guys. Let me tell you something. If you just think about it hard enough, anything can be possible, right? And I give turkeys away to people.
Was he like 7'2"?
Pretty good, Tony Robbins.
Fucking huge.
Oh my god.
Tony Robbins here, everybody. Let me tell you, put lemon in your water and it will affect your alkaline levels. That's bullshit.
Robbie, what's your favorite kill, bro? And what did you think of the score?
I mean, bro, how can you pick anything other than the blender kill? But I'll try. When Z gets the fucking knife right through the top of her forehead, I don't know. It's something about the reaction to that, and that was a very satisfying kill.
Because she was so goddamn slow.
Not necessarily a kill, but one of my favorite injuries is when the dude steps on the fucking nail. Because like he's like, I see your fucking nail. Then I'm like, that's why she put 2 rows. I always love it when somebody steps on it.
And he steps on it as slow as he can, too.
That's Home Alone shit, man. That's Home Alone shit for real.
And that's why I think Two Gun was perfect to throw this out, because even though it doesn't take place on Christmas, with the Home Alone, obviously was influenced with all the traps and stuff. I think that was a perfect movie to do in December, man. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Kind of reminds me of a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
We were talking about Thanksgiving horror
Outrage?
movies again.
Blood
No,
Race.
this
This one, yeah.
Well, because they have the big dinner table.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily set up like with Christmas festive like themes, but I mean it could take either or, but it just gave me Thanksgiving vibes.
I can dig that.
It's an anniversary, a 35th anniversary of the parents.
Okay.
But I understand what you mean because they got that big dinner table. And
Yeah.
Right.
the whole spread. It does kind of give a Thanksgiving.
As far as the music, you got
But
four
it's a
people
Christmas
credited.
dinner.
You got 4 people credited with the music: Jasper Justice Lee, Kyle McKinnon, Mads Heldberg, and Adam Wingard.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
I think that's intentional because, like I said, the first act of this movie, the music sounds like any other movie like this, right? It does, and it switches when the film switches, and it gets in that synthy score for that last bit, and it carries it, man. So I really like the music. At first, when I was watching, I was like, music kind of whack. It's just kind of typical. It's not whack. It's just typical. Like we've seen this shit in Friday the 13th. We've seen this in any slasher or whatnot. But then when it gets into that, and obviously the synth stuff is stuff we've seen before. It's just more my jam. So I really got into it.
Yeah.
But I love the music, and my favorite kill is the blender. But I love the nail step.
It's always good to see some synthy music in the 2000s, you know?
They know what's up.
Synthwave,
They know
baby.
that the 80s revival's coming, and they're going to make some company's going to make a lot of money doing 20 hours of horror documentaries about movies from the fucking 80s. Right?
Yeah. But man, we should jump on that train. If someone already hasn't done that.
Yeah, we should.
Covering the
Vern, what do you think, brother?
You muted. Vern.
You muted. Oh yeah, I didn't know he was.
I'm just joking. As far as the music, you guys said it well. But I will just say I appreciate that Robbie pointed that out because I was thinking like, why is it so distinctly different from beginning?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like they just figured
We all
out
noticed
midway
the end
through.
music.
I didn't really put
Yeah.
it together that they were subverting the expectations. So that was cool, and it was really good, and it did stand out quite a bit. It was really noticeable. Kills, it's tempting to want to go with the Wire one, but we already talked about that. So I'll just say the Ty West kill, although it could have
That
been a
was
little
nice, yeah.
gorier.
I was waiting for someone.
I think my favorite thing about it was the way that everybody noticed it at different times.
Yeah.
Like it was just
Yeah.
so like she's looking, you know, like everybody's
She sees
starting
the
to
glass
notice like
broken.
he's
I like the
even,
yeah,
what
that
the
was
fuck?
dope. How she looked at the little details first and like narrowed
Right.
it all in, kind of. Well, she did kind of look back last, but she did notice the glass. But no, that was a great scene.
They're all talking over each other and loud enough that they didn't notice the glass breaking. So it was cool. That was a well-directed scene. And plus,
Yeah.
when I watched this the first time, I didn't know that was Ty West. So
Me
it added
either.
a little extra bit to it, knowing that this is Ty West, and I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
So I'll go with that one.
I think my brother actually told me because he watched that
I
Dead
kept telling
Meat-
you guys that numerous times.
the
No,
Dead Meat, the Dead Meat podcast. He did like a kill count for it, and I guess he talks about Ty West being the first one to get killed. Steph, my man, what are you thinking, brother?
Obviously, the blender is a standout, but I'm gonna go with Aaron's first kill when she bashed dude in the head with
Right.
the hammer. That was pretty savage, and
There was some
kind of like
precision in that.
that's
She,
when you
like,
kind of knew that she was someone not to be
Something's
fucked
wrong
with.
with her.
Yeah,
Steven
The way
Seagal.
she dodges the axe to the head, then she freaking takes the hammer, cracks him in the knee, or no, first she kicks him in the balls.
in the balls, then a knee,
Then
then
cracks him.
whack, whack.
Oh my shit, that was like precision to get him down, you know. Oh god, that was good. That was
This
I was
is
like,
funny,
okay, you
'cause
disarmed him. You
You
disarmed
guys are making me realize how many good kills there was. Because when you said that, I'm like, well, fuck, there's just the Wire and the blender. But no, I mean, there was some
No,
fucking
There's an
Yeah.
arrow through the
Yeah.
head, man. Like there's some good ones.
Yeah, especially
just
I
like-
wasn't thinking about her doing the killing. She,
Right.
Somebody said it earlier, but you're right. She has the best kills.
What about
Yeah, she was
that
the
was the
slasher.
meat tenderizer he cracked her with the knee with, or she cracks him with the knee. What about when the older brother's girlfriend's running and she goes to the next door neighbor's house and she's like,
You're taking my kill,
and then the
man.
dude goes, just crack, and then
Yo, I loved how she went flew through the window.
and he quacks her right into the side, like puts the axe right through the left side of her like eye. And then
He should have
look at
said
it, and then you
4.
see the eye,
And
the axe. Then they do a pan of the axe literally just in the side of her face, like that. I'd say almost every kill was good in this.
Yeah.
If I grew up reading Fangoria with pictures of the kills of this movie, it would have been like something like Reanimator or like where I grew up seeing those images and wanted to see those fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'd be like, I want to see this fucking movie.
Straight up, bro. Straight up.
That's a powerful ass punch though, because she fucking flew, bro. Dragon Ball Z.
I
He
love
sure
that
fucking
one.
did. He Shuriken her motherfucker. Shuriken.
Was that it, Steph? My bad. Did you want to say anything about the music?
Music. Yeah, I mean, you guys have all said it best. That like, and then Fable said it just a few minutes ago that I particularly, but I agree with that. That I had noticed it towards the end more. Like, that's when it started to really stand out for me. Like, okay, this shit is kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I love how they subvert it.
Once the movie gets that fast pace going, then the synth comes in. It's like
Like the Stalker '80s vibe
It's so,
type shit.
it's so simple.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
all the best
So
music is
effective.
simple as hell.
Dude, John Carpenter had no money back in the day when he started doing that shit, man.
Like, I'm gonna do it myself.
Terminator as well. I don't know who did the music for the original Terminator. Terminator has that kind of stalkerish techno music.
Yeah,
that's really good, and this is what it reminded me of. Like, she was the Terminator. Like,
I always say Christmas, bro.
Brad Fidel.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about Brad Fidel recently on the show. I can't remember what movie it was.
Yeah,
I would say Terminator is damn near a horror movie. The first one.
Yeah, the first one, absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a horror movie back in the day. Yeah,
Right.
Oh, we were talking about Brad Fidel, who did the music in Terminator 1 and 2. Was also the guy who did the score in Serpent in the Rainbow, as well as Fright Night.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's dope.
Damn.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Scarpet, my man, what are you thinking? Favorite kill, and what do you think about the score?
My favorite kill, I'm going to say, is the screwdriver kill, because I love that we're getting he pushes it a little further. But I love the guy that, why won't you die? He was just such a wuss, and the other guy's just staring at him, going, and he finally goes down. So I think the screwdriver kill is my favorite kill.
That's a good one.
As far as music, the music, once you get halfway through the movie and it goes to the sun stop, it's really memorable and fits the movie, and it was good.
Yeah.
Synth somehow just has that. Stalker movies, synth just does it for me.
I love 80s synth.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite synth score of all times. I can listen to it morning, noon, night, as I must have heard about other time, is Carpenter's Escape from New York soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. To me, that's my favorite Carpenter music. I love it. I even like that little thing when they're in the theater and the guys are singing that New York song, "Kill a cop with a fork." What a great fucking tune.
Hell yeah. Fable,
that's why I loved it. Good stuff.
Sorry, bro. Go ahead, Scarpet.
Yeah, I love the score was good, and favorite kill, the screwdriver kill, the multiple screwdriver kills.
Heck yeah, dude.
I think there's 5.
At least. Why are you making this so hard on me?
Just die already.
I love that, man. I just had to kill my goddamn brother. What am I paying you for? Well, that's my brother, and I actually liked him.
Do you have to do that right in front of me? You have to kill my dad right in front of me?
Are you talking right now? I'd be like, yeah, I'm fucking talking. I'd be like, you want to get paid, bitch? Who the fuck are you talking to?
I wouldn't talk to
you could tell he was scared of them. So, but Fable, my man, what did you think? Favorite kill and the score?
Yeah, my favorite kill was when the woman was running to the other house and she was behind the glass and she saw the killer and she screamed and he just decked her in the face, just drove glass into her face, and then he kind of lined her up like a goddamn what do you call it? Like
golf.
Yeah, golf swing.
I wish he would have showed that shit go in though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
There was a couple.
She was crawling through the glass. That was.
Yeah,
they did.
They held back the opening kill at the beginning. The first kill, just show that shit. Barbara Crampton getting killed. They didn't show it. There was a few where they held back.
That was in her
when we're
contract.
talking about the budget, million budget, you got to hold back on a few.
True shit.
It's nowadays, like ever since the MPAA came in, man, and all that shit, like it ruined horror movies for a while, dude.
Big time.
And everybody feels like less is more. I'm like, sometimes we got to be like Stuart Gordon. More is more.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
As far as the music,
you're like, nobody's gonna see this fucker anyway, dude. Just put it all in there. Like, let's just do it, man.
I wonder if Terrifier is gonna have an influence on films coming up,
I
because
hope
they
so.
went more is more, and they made the money.
Because money talks. That's
Now the Mean one is going into theaters for like a weekend. Like, and that
supposed to
blood,
be
and
pretty
Blood and Honey is going to be in the theater. Like, those would have never been in the theaters without Terrifier doing as well as it did.
Right.
Which those are, to me, those are like C movies where Terrifier is like a goddamn good B film. You know, where I think those two films are going to be like C films. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
they're taking a stretch putting those in the theaters. But Faye, my bad, bro. What else were you going to say?
No, so you guys said it all about the music. I think we pointed out, especially the ending music. Yeah, Rob, I didn't notice that there were like 4 different kind of scores going on. I really didn't. But now that you say that, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty artistic thing to do. Yeah, like let me get a different guy for different tones. That's kind of ill.
Well, yeah, because when Dylan first told me this movie, he goes, "Oh man, you gotta love the fucking John Carpenter-esque vibe." I'm watching this movie. I go, "What the fuck was he talking about? Is he smoking again? What the hell's going on?" He didn't tell me it didn't happen until halfway through the movie. Because I'm watching the first part, I go, "What John Carpenter vibe?"
Yeah,
but it fit when they implemented it.
You know,
right?
Yeah. So yeah, man, and like I said, it gave me Terminator vibes, which I thought has one of the best
I love
that kind of soundtracks. Yeah. It's not Carpenter, but it's damn good. Just as good.
Everyone always talks about the second one, but the first one is so good, man.
I think it's better.
Yeah.
They're different vibes. That's like James Cameron wasn't on that epic.
It's alien.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where the Terminator is going through and hunting her down in the cannery and she gets crushed.
Right.
That's more of a horror vibe than the second one was.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, and Blade Runner has that. It's not a horror movie, but it's got that kind of soundtrack. You know, I just like like you said, 80 Cent. Once it turned on, it was like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? It was just something about those synths, baby.
I love that when you brought up like her when he kills her with the axe and you're like kind of like line her up like a 4. You remember in The Mask when the fucking mobster guy like takes the tea,
put it in his mouth.
Oh, that always got me, man. As soon as you said talk about the 4, I was like, dude, that reminded me just of The Mask, bro. That one always got me as a kid. But yeah, man, great points as always, man. You guys want to get into what the movie's trying to say and then do the rating? Just hit them both. And heck yeah, man. Let's start off. Fable, you want to go first? I'm sorry.
Sure.
I mean to hit you back to back.
I think this movie says a lot about like knowing somebody forever and not knowing them at all. There's some and it's really because of the 2 relationships at the end of the movie that tie this movie at the end that kind of drive that home, because these 2 knew each other but didn't know each other at all. Like, you know what I mean? How do you spend time with somebody that long and whatever, go, do things, meet the family? Obviously, they were important to each other for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy had a whole plot to kill his family, and she's a fucking deranged murderer. This shit is crazy. It's like,
well, she wasn't really deranged murder.
Dude, I understand she was doing self-defense.
She was pushed to an extreme, man.
She was just bugging out. Like, she was really.
Well, you could tell her dad was crazy, man, for her to be skilled like that.
Yeah. Like, okay, for instance, if he would have said, "Oh, you bitch," she might have killed his ass in their relationship. Forget this family quarry that's going on just at home. They're like, what you say to me? Blah. You know what I mean?
To the head, baby.
Yeah, like so. That's what I think the movie is trying to say, and I think that's the scene in the movie at the end that ties it all home. You just don't know anybody, man.
Everyone's got their past, man.
Yeah,
everyone's got that kind of shadow that they keep to themselves,
Yeah.
Everybody, most people that they end up with, they had like a whole life before you met that person. Like if you met your significant other at 25, 30, you had 30 years of life before you ever met it. You know what I mean? Like,
so I was 24 for a whole year.
Yeah, right. Oh man. All right. So what's your rating, brother?
All right. So rating, like I said earlier, this movie is kind of a mixed bag for me. Artistically, I think this guy shot a better movie that was edited in a different way than maybe he was going for, and I got that sense totally at the end when the your next thing splattered on the window, and there were certain scenes where like she was killing somebody and the camera was going off like a flash thing, like little scenes like that. I could tell like if the editing would have been better, would have came off better, like a little more like, I don't know, action packed. That's what I got from some of the direction and stuff like that. I like the girl. The score is great, but I think this thing subverts your expectations in the bad way. Why? Because I saw a llama mask and a "You're Next" written on things. That's what I thought this movie was going to be about, right? Some serial killer with a llama mask. And it ended up being some whole other thing. The whole other thing it ended up being wasn't bad either. Like, I like Erin. I like her being a badass, taking it to the killer. She's the killer. But Robbie said this before. He said, "Oh, this is another one of those," and it is another one of those. But I've seen the other ones that are better. Like we said, You Better Watch Out, I think, is a superior film to this. So I'm gonna give this 3 slips.
That's solid.
All right, brother. And anyone in the chat that was able to catch Your Next this past week or whenever, throw your rating below. You know how we do, out of 1 to 5 you digs, or 1 to 5 slips. Or
especially if you saw it on the cock.
Especially if you saw it on the cock.
The cock
like my boy Scarpad. Scarpad, what'd you think this movie's trying to say? And what's your rating?
It's trying to say that my decision to only have dogs in my life is a good one. and not to birth out some ungrateful little fucks who will kill me, murder me, put an axe in my head, and take all my money.
Kid, like I raise you little shits, spoil you, coddle you, and this is the thanks I get.
Right.
Sure.
So I think that's what it's saying, that your family will love you to a point, and then they'll hideously murder you for your money. I'm going to give it 3 slips. As I said, I think it was the first half hour. I really wasn't feeling it. I think it kicked in the second half, the last hour. Turned around my feelings, but I think it was a little generic, and the characters were a little underwhelming for me, although when they got killed it was fun. So 3 slips for me.
All righty, brother. All righty. Steph, my man, what are you thinking, boss?
No.
What it's trying to say in the rating?
I think it is trying to say that there's always a badder mofo out there. The brothers thought they had everything planned out. Everything's going to plan. They're the smartest. They've got it all planned out. There's a badder mofo out there than the people they hired to take out the family, which was Erin.
It's like Qui-Gon said, right? In Phantom Menace, there's always a bigger fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yep. And a rating, I'll give it a 3.5. No, I'll give it 3.69. Even though it's kind of big to me, but it's like the only thing I think of that I didn't enjoy was characters' motivation, the brothers' motivation for killing their family. They could have been hinted at. They probably did hint at it, but at the end of the day, I think it would have been better for the story to show why these guys are willing to kill their family in such a vicious way, or plot on that. But other than that, it's got good energy. Like I said, the momentum keeps going. They always break the tension with some sort of comedic scene, or so there's always some levity. So I appreciated that, and it subverted the tropes of home invasion, from which we've seen many times before. So 3.69.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Shit, now legacy. I like your thoughts.
Yeah.
I know, man.
Represent millennials' resilience and abilities to survive economic and social collapse, and the ability to just get shit done.
I don't know, man. I think you take the phone and the TikTok away from the millennials and crumple on the ground pretty quick. But
millennials to me, man. Fuck you, man.
All righty.
Hold on, I'm a millennial.
Millennials are 30 years old to 40 years old now. Just
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a millennial.
You're talking about Zoomers, okay?
Yeah, Zoomers are. Yeah,
Robbie,
Yeah.
there's a special
Okay.
generation that you and I think I and Fable are. If you were born at any time between,
it's from 1980 to
cusp of Gen X.
1995.
there's
I
the
looked it up.
original Star Wars trilogy.
Gen
If
X,
you were
I think.
born in those years, you're this
Yeah.
fucking own special little generation.
Yeah, a
Where
little kind of.
we had keys to our
side
house
thing.
and we came home and we were alone and fucking, you know what I mean? We ran around, did what the fuck we want, but we also picked up phones and learned how to do that shit.
How old are you,
We're
Bruno?
all 39, 38. I'll be 39 in a couple.
I feel like my generation.
So we were in high
was one of
school
the
around the
last
same
to
time.
be
We're not
running
that much
out,
far apart.
playing outside.
yeah,
and
well, there's a
shit.
little gap there.
For 4 years.
No, no.
4 years.
I say that because I read a really interesting article talking about this micro generation that was born in the years of the original trilogy. That it's a little squirrely and hard to get a grasp on those people.
Yeah, I don't feel like a millennial. I do seem to identify more with Gen Xers, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like, you fucking Gen Xers.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
I
So
feel
you're
like
right.
I'm on the softer, pussier side of that Gen X argument. I'm not full Gen X.
On the
I'll be honest.
pussier side of Gen X.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, from a
But
boomer,
not quite as
fuck
pussy
all
as
of you.
millennials or
Not
Zoomers.
quite
Right,
off my
exactly,
lawn, man.
exactly.
Get
I'm
off
a
my
pussy,
lawn.
but not a fucking full-fledged pussy. Let's be real.
Right.
Thank you.
Come on, is it
I
not
don't think
me?
there's anything wrong with
Yes,
pussy.
sir.
No,
We all are
pussies-
fans of
We're all here because of them.
We're free here at PPP. Yeah.
Yo.
Body positive. sex
Us
positive.
millennials aren't gonna take that shit. Right, Dylan?
I think pussies are great. I came out of one, believe it or not.
There we go.
I know.
There we go.
We could tell.
Gen Xer, right?
I thought you just popped out of a bush and
Boomer.
were like surprised.
Well,
He
that-
did. He
He
did.
definitely did. He definitely did.
Popped out of that 60s bush.
popped out of that 30s bush.
Was it 50s bush?
50s bush. Oh, come on.
That was a lot of bush in the 50s. Anyway, moving
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
Moving on.
Scarpat came out of a bush with a full bush already.
Did they have electric razors then with
What you
guards?
thinking,
Anyway, moving
Vern?
on.
That's a good question.
Vern, you are up next, my brother.
Fucking hell. What it's saying, I'll just piggyback on what Fable was saying about not really knowing. You don't know you don't know everything about everyone's past and who they are. But I'll just add on that, like, you look at Crispin and he seems like this nice guy, but he was banging his student. Like, you could have looked at him. If he's willing to do some shady shit like that, he might be willing to do some extremely shady.
Is it really
shit.
shady though?
Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't really know that's a good point because I never really.
They're two
went to college.
consenting adults.
Well, if you were to ask a lot of people, they would
Listen to
say.
stuff down there. Your brother, two consenting adults, man.
If you were to ask
Yo,
a younger
It's all good
generation,
in the hood, you know what I'm
the way they would word it right now is he's using his power and his influence to get the pussy. So shit.
I think those sound like
depending on
jealous
who you're
people.
talking to, they would say he's raping her by using his
Yeah.
power. You know what
And
I
they
mean?
kind of
So-
try to imply that a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's why you argue with his
They
brother.
didn't, they didn't seem like there's too much of an age gap between them.
No.
To be honest, so like
The
there
longest
didn't seem.
relationship of my life was with a former employee of mine when I was the manager of a store.
There you go.
Right. And like when it started, I was like, you really,
Shit.
you need to go find another job.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
My
No,
fiance is
happens.
11 years
Shit.
younger than me, so I got no fucking room to talk. But,
Yeah.
I feel you.
But I also might kill everybody. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. You
Society,
don't fucking know.
society might think that way, though. I could see it.
But
Yeah.
I'll go with Steph. 3.69 for me. There's not a lot of I enjoy the movie like quite a bit. There's a lot of things to nitpick, and then I'll agree with what Scarpad said. I think generic is a good word for I didn't have a problem with the acting, but the character is a little generic. The story overall is a little generic, and it's nothing that really stands out as being super memorable. And it doesn't stand out above the pack for movies like Hush for me. And even like I said, Ready or Not, even though very different but very similar in a lot of ways, but way more memorable and more unique. So 3.69, definitely solid.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
3.69. Okay. All right. Robbie, what'd you think, brother?
Well, I think the
Sorry,
movie is
you hear?
about subverting expectations, right? I think the movie is trying to do that structurally, and I think that's also part of the point of the movie. Like Fable was saying, you don't know these people, even if you've known them for so long. Even if you're intimate with them, you may not know them. She didn't know Crispin. He didn't know her. Nobody knew Felix. Everybody knew Z. Everybody knew she was up to no fucking good. She came up in there, those smoky eyes, smoking a goddamn cigarette, being all sexy and shit. You know,
Everybody knew Z.
I think it's about that. I think it's about the family dynamic, and I do think that there is something there with the father being into, you know, military contract business, defense contract business, making a lot of money. He's rich. His entitled rich ass kids think that he's we're gonna fucking kill him. Like, I think there's a lot that's left for us to determine on ourselves. That doesn't, you know, some people don't like that. Some people love it. Me personally, I love it. I look at the horror movies that came out in 2011. We got the Thing prequel. We got some movie called
that was good.
Apollo 13, The Divide, Final Destination 5, The Kill List, 11-11-11, Hellraiser,
Paranormal Activity 3,
fucking Lations, The Wicker Tree, Bunny Man, The Intruders, The Awakening, Area 51. I'll tell you what.
Well, bad year that was.
Outside of Kill List is really good.
Scream 4 came out that same year. Outside of Scream 4, this is one of the best horror films of this year, in my opinion. I love that it takes me, who is a somewhat casual fan of horror, and sells me on an idea, and then tweaks it, subverts it, and has that be part of the theme. It lets me in on the joke, and I love it. But it doesn't make a joke of itself like other movies I love, like Pieces. Pieces made a joke of itself. I don't think they were trying to make that movie hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, it's, you know, it's not intentionally funny. This one's intentionally funny in a dark, black, comedic type way, but it does it by inviting you in for something. And then, here's the biggest problem with this movie for me, is that unless Two Gun Pedro recommended it, or unless we did it here for this show, I would never watch this movie because it doesn't seem like anything I would be necessarily super into. But it is something I'm super into. I love the gore. I love the boldness of this fucking movie. I love the pace of it. I love the comedy of it. I love the brutality of it. Y'all, maybe I'm being a shitter tonight. I'm giving this a 4.5. You digs? I think this. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Nice.
Love this.
Speaking of dark,
even though it's got some actors in it.
Hell yeah.
The fucking actors.
Frankly, I think you're selling Bunny Man.
Have you guys covered Idle Hands?
Hell yeah, we did. I think we did that. I did that.
Y'all did that without
me. Here on it though. Robbie was gone, and I think me and Vern did that, didn't we?
No, it was you and Jay Strick, and was it somebody else had to been there, right?
I think Idle Hands is a better movie than this.
Oh,
I think that was
know about that.
That was more of a dark. That was more of a dark horror comedy than straight up horror comedy than this was.
I haven't seen it since it came out. I loved it back in the day.
Maybe it was like, I swear that, because there was one that like Steph and TM were on.
I feel like I was just thinking, was I on that shit?
Who did Ready or Not?
But we did the car where
Chris.
He's taking the road trip, that too, but he's like the ghost car. He's like gets picked up by like a ghost car.
Here, I'll tell you right now.
Y'all talking about all these ones I wasn't on.
Right? I know you. Well, Robbie, you know what I keep thinking?
Boy, you right there, Steph.
No, I was just gonna say. I was just thinking, did I do that shit?
Travis and Jay Strick, man. Look at that.
Robbie, I keep thinking that it's. I'm sad that you'll probably never watch Ready or Not because you weren't on that show.
You haven't seen Ready or Not?
And it's from an era that you don't really particularly care that much about. But that's one you should fucking cut out a chunk.
That was a fun one.
Time to watch that movie one day.
It's only an hour and a half.
After hearing all the stuff in the chat tonight about how this is kind of comparable to Ready or Not, and I love Better Watch Out. And it's the same people, right?
Yeah, but it's not a home invasion in the same way. It's a twist.
But it's got the Margot Robbie chick.
The guy
Samara Weaver
5 did Ready or Not, which that's what I kind of didn't want to tell you. That,
Margot Robbie.
Hey, it's part of the backlog.
Right.
It's worth checking out for sure.
100%.
Great cast.
I don't know what a backlog bro is, but I'll give the backlog bros a 0.60.
What is it? Backlog bro.
Better Watch Out. Who did Better Watch Out?
0.69 would be.
Didn't y'all do both of those? We did both of those movies because
we did Better Watch Out.
It was the guys that did the Scream 5, right?
Dude, the guy who did, the guys who did Scream 5 did Ready or Not. The guy that did Better Watch Out has only done one movie, and it's Better Watch Out. His name's Chris Peckover, and then he did a documentary called
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an injustice.
A documentary called Undocumented.
I'll tell you what, I tried to watch that movie with my 13-year-old niece.
It says it's a documentary crew accompanying a group of illegal
Better watch
immigrants
out.
crossing the border. I don't know, but I've never even. I don't know what this is.
In my head, I remembered
it. Done 2 movies.
I remembered it not nearly as dirty as it was. It was a bit of an uncomfortable watch at times
because
it's like kids in it and shit. Like, oh, she'll like that, and then they're like, oh, they're talking about a bunch of sexual shit. I'm like, okay, note to self: do not put this on for kids anymore.
I mean, those are real teenage boys, though.
Yeah.
That's
the problem. That's the problem.
That's one of the highest viewed videos on the channel.
No way. Better watch out.
No way.
Yeah, Better Watch Out.
Man.
That's I think that is the highest one.
Yeah.
I think it is. And then there's I don't know, Motel Hell's got some shit.
The Entity did well.
The Entity, yeah.
Yep. I'd say, The Entity's a big one. Yeah, I can say.
Those are movies that not a lot of people talk
Demon
about.
Knight's getting to 500.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
500.
Because that movie's fucking awesome, man.
It's worth it.
That's why. You hold
New York Rippers got 1K.
In there, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Did you rate it yet, Dylan?
No, I'm about to go. I was just looking. Yeah, New York Rippers got 1K. The Entity's got 2.6K, bro.
Wait, you mean 2.69, brother?
2.69, brother. Hey, it probably does. Let me see.
This is getting
rounded up real
let's
quick.
Just say it's got 2.69, brother. Scream 2022's almost got 500 reviews. So actually, The Entity, which is another Two Gun recommended, that's my highest viewed movie with almost fucking 3K views. Better Watch Out is at 1.8.
Nice.
Well, maybe tonight we'll do well.
Motel Hell is at 1.5, bro. How the fuck am I not monetized yet with 4,000 hours yet?
That's nothing. 4,000. You gotta have like 20,000.
Some people are walking in thinking it's
how do I
movie.
not have it? I'm not monetized yet because I'm waiting on the watch hours.
It might break your little fucking heart to look at how long people actually watch videos, bro. Don't ever do it.
Believe it.
You'd be like, what?
They're not even staying past the intro.
Yeah.
As they always say, man, it's not the views, it's the watch time.
Well, Dylan, most of your videos, they start at the end and they watch them backwards. That kind of negatizes the whole thing.
That's how you get all the satanic rituals.
Yeah.
Listen
Yeah.
to
Open a portal and shit.
Oh, speaking of which,
You know they did. You know they did that. They did that with the Gate review. So, yeah, I'd say I agree with what Fable was saying. About people got a past that you kind of don't know, which I touched on. Your significant other, you might not have met them until you were 30. So that's 30 damn years you lived before. So everyone's got their past. And you never know what a person's thinking, man. You never know what their inside motives could be. And that could be scary, man. That could be really scary. So I like what Adam Wingard did with this. I think it subverted expectations on what people were going to think this movie was coming off of The Strangers. Because that to us, we're big horror guys. I mean, at least a couple of us aren't. And
some of us are casual.
Some of us are just casual.
We got some casuals, but I'm working on it. I'm getting them there.
As long as it's elevated,
we'll get you there, Robbie. Don't worry.
Strangers was more of a mainstream.
The first time we ever did Italian horror on here was because of me.
Yeah. But
I'm the one that brings the Linnea Quigley to Dylan's horror show, not y'all. Come on.
But yeah, man, I think this movie is absolutely fantastic. It showed Adam Wingard made this for $1 million, and look at what he's been doing as of lately, man. Making what did King Kong vs. Godzilla? What did he use for that? I'm sure that movie he needed like 50, 60 million to make that movie.
I want to see the movie that he did before this and the one he did right after. They're supposed to be pretty good. I can't remember what they're called, but a lot of the same performers are in the first one that they did. Like A Terrible Way to Die or A Horrible Way to Die or something like that. I don't know. I'm I want to see more of this dude's work. When you tell me he did Godzilla versus Kong, I'm not going to hold that against him.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't amazing. Yes,
the
but it
sequel
was,
on it too.
Yes, he did.
I'll tell you what,
Homesick.
this movie's got better character development than that one
They
did.
literally solved the whole fucking movie by spilling a Pepsi
Godzilla and
on
Kong are the
fucking
characters, right?
He
They
did
used the
Death Note.
Pepsi
And just make
moment.
them the characters.
Yo,
now.
Death Note.
Take out
Death
the
Note.
other
Death Note. I
Did
didn't mind as
Anybody
a
gonna have
film,
the
but
balls to make a Godzilla versus whatever monster movie where it's just about them? Like, is somebody gonna have the balls? Like, we don't have to have some love story.
they won't do it.
You gotta put humans.
They can't even do Transformers.
Humans. Yeah, you
Well,
gotta put
yeah.
humans in movies.
To be
you know that.
fair,
We don't need
that's how the
11 being like,
Japanese versions are.
ah, and every goddamn Godzilla, ah, that's all 11
You know
does.
what, man?
Gayaka.
He's part of that crew of guys.
King
so
Kong
whatever.
would not use a tree against Godzilla. Well, he would. Kind of.
King Kong ain't got
anime-
shit.
No, he
What
wasn't
are
using
we
a tree.
talking about?
Club.
So what's your rating, Dylan?
He's part of that crew though. Jesus Christ.
What's your rating, Dylan?
I was trying to say, man, Adam Wingard's part of this freaking crew of guys like the Scream guys, because the guys that did the first VHS, who created it, they all directed it. Matt Bellatini opened, which he's one of the guys that did Scream. David Bruckner, who just did Night House and the new Hellraiser. Tyler Gillett, and that's the other guy who directed Scream. Radio Silence is like the company, I think, that's all together. Joe Swanberg directed one of the episodes in VHS, and he's the older brother. So it looks like these guys kind of keep their crew together. And Ty West directed one of the VHS segments, and Adam Wingard. So
Nice.
it seems like they're kind of
Film school buddies.
friends, man.
I like it
like
when you
that.
get these film crews together. You know, when you have these like these people that are friends. You know, like Eli Roth, and Tarantino.
Yep, I love those guys. They
Adam
also,
Green and
he
Joe
also
Lynch,
did
right?
80 Seas of Death. Yeah.
Judd Apatow, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
things like that.
And back in the day, John Carpenter with Toby Hooper.
Looks like he
George
did the
Romero,
Blair Witch remake
Ari
as
Argento.
well.
Spielberg, Lucas.
Right.
Spielberg, Toby Hooper, Spielberg, Joe Dante. Joe Dante, John Landis. Oh,
Kevin Bacon.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, leads back to Kevin Bacon. Yeah.
Always.
Francis Ford Coppola
Fucking
started his career with sci-fi.
You know, guys, usually that would kind of piss me off, but I don't know. I feel kind of.
So thank
I don't know,
God,
good.
thank God at least one of you guys freaking agreed with me, man. I love you, Robbie. At least one day, man, we see eye to eye. I'm giving this.
We didn't say it was a bad film, though.
brother.
we're both true horror
4.69.
fans, Dylan. That's what it is. We're not casuals.
4.69. Shout out to Gun for the awesome
I
recommendation.
think we just obviously saw who the two casual horror film goers are in this.
Or the ones that are going to shill for it whenever Two Gun's going to send us a free.
I thought Vern was gonna go a little higher.
I thought they were all honest and authentic reviews.
We got,
Yeah.
of course, man. I want whatever you guys are thinking, man. I don't want no.
I feel like a 2 and lower is kind of like shit territory. I feel like
Hey,
3 and
man,
up.
dude,
is
honestly, dude,
Three's
the
good.
movie,
Yo,
had,
yo, yo, yo.
the movie's like a 6.4 on IMDb. So 3.5. That's about where it's at, man. Anyway,
Right.
it's a 6.6. It's a 6.6.
Right.
Those are
on
casuals, though,
IMDb,
Dylan.
so-
Let's be
And
honest.
then- yeah, well, that's for you
like Drum
casual
Dump
guys.
said, the best final girl ever is in this movie.
Dude, she is fan-fucking-tastic. 4.69.
I kind of dig Ready or Not a little bit more, though.
Vernal
the
gave it a
Final Girl.
3.5, right?
369.
369. Steph gave it a 369. Scarpad and Fable both gave it 3s. And then we got a solid 3 from Sammy Vetrano. And then we got a 7.5 from Mark McGrath. So I'll give that. I'd say that's about a 3.69 as well.
All these casuals in here.
3
guys.
slips,
Yeah.
Nerdtastic.
Casual.
3.69 for Big Herm.
Casual.
4.5 from Two Gun. Only right.
Professional.
Shield.
2 point.
I think I just picked the bad week stuff to the glue.
5
Dude, how do you do? Do you
review
put it in like the
discussion
brown paper
tonight.
bag and huff,
Big
or like?
facts.
Fanatic.
Thank you, brother.
No, I buy these ones that with the buttons that shoot up your nose.
So they
I
get
wish
vape
more
paint
people would
huffers
take
now?
more
Is that what's
seriously
going
work
on?
to be full of pathos and drama, but these older films are quaint
I
enough
love the
for
chat, man.
lowbrow.
We got a great chat, man. This chat is awesome, dude.
Hell yeah, man. We had,
Guys, hang
dude,
with us. Yeah.
we've had a nice chat the entire
That
night,
sounds like
man. I
Manny right there with
appreciate it.
elevated horror. Fucking
So I
think he was Bruno's brain a few minutes ago as well.
I'd say we're at with 2 3s, 2 3.69s, and let's just say Robbie said 4.69 as well with me.
Change the man's
I think we're at an average score of
she's changing.
4.069, brother.
I feel like that'd be like a
So it's like a
3.0.
4.069. So we're almost at a 4.1, but we gotta throw that 69 in there.
I don't know how you do a movie without
dude,
69.
Shout out Two Gun in the chat. This was an awesome. Either way, no matter what anyone thinks of the movie, this was a freaking awesome discussion. My man Two Gun said it. 5 slips all day for the discussion and review on this sucker. Thank you, brother, for the support as always. We're
really gelling here.
For always coming
2
through.
years into DHS, y'all, and can we just celebrate Dylan for almost 2 years here at DHS? Solid every week, maybe an occasional break here and there, but every week, my man.
Just during the holidays.
When you say gelling, you mean like a jelly bird?
Migraine.
Gelling, man.
And for damn near on time almost every week as well recently.
Man.
Since
I had to throw the
ever
alarm
since
on,
Verno barked at you, you've been on point now.
I had to make sure I put the 7:15 alarm, bro, so I ain't slipping.
Scarpet sent you that alarm. That was the best thing Scarpet's ever done in his life, was send you a fucking alarm clock.
Yeah.
Actual crew average of 3.7.
And we got a 4 slips from Kirby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Kind of casual.
Yeah.
Casual with a K.
So, man,
there you go. Like that.
Straight up a blast tonight, fellas. Let's talk about what we got for next week before we get into a little show and tell. And then we'll be dipping out of here. So next week, we got us a little more Christmas horror coming. We got us some Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 3, 4, and 5. We got us a triple feature in honor of Vestron releasing all 3 of these films on Blu-ray this upcoming week. So if you want to go pick those up, I wish I was making some money off it, but I ain't.
Now, let me ask.
On Shudder. All 3 are on Shudder.
Yeah, all 3 are on Shudder. That's what I would recommend you doing.
Having seen none of these, I haven't seen any of them.
You've never seen 1 and 2?
Neither have I.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I want to do the
remake. I need to watch 1 and 2 to watch 3 and 4. I have them. I just bought them.
You don't need to, but if you're going to try to watch 1 and 2, I would encourage you just to watch 2.
But no characters from 1 and 2 appear in 3, 4,
well,
and
5. 2 gives you like 2
1
gives
is,
you the
1
gist
is the
of
best.
Which one is the one with the
Part 2 is just clips from Part 1.
Okay, hold on.
Is it the dude that comes back with the axe or like
do any of the characters
I've seen
show in 3, 4, and 5?
No, they're all these 3 are all separate movies. The only one really connected are 1 and 2
first. Okay.
If I would say, well, the thing is, I would say maybe watch 2 because the Bill Moseley character is supposed to be
the guy from.
I say he's supposed to be one of the characters from the first, but it's a recast. That's the only thing, and I can't remember if they show any flashbacks. 2 though basically recaps the entire first movie, and then adds like a brother character. So literally the first half of the movie.
We know how
I'm Terry.
And 5 of these movies will still be shorter than Storm of the Century, so we're okay. Well,
you're okay.
I finally got a chance to finish Storm of the Century, so I'm gonna watch your guys' review tomorrow at work.
Let's hear your thoughts real quick.
I liked it, dude. I'll be honest with you. I'll give that a 3.69 as well.
Damn, where the fuck were you, bro?
I gave it like a 3.5.
The obvious thing is it's clearly way too fucking long. I think they could have put that into an hour and 50-minute
movie
film.
or something.
Exactly what I said.
I didn't watch that damn thing with commercials.
Robbie is an actor.
I can't believe that with commercials.
Robbie was like, it should have been 5 hours longer.
I feel terrible.
He's like, you guys have seen Lost? This is just like that.
I thought it was fun though, for the most part. I liked all 3 episodes. I thought the second episode was my least favorite of all of them, to be honest.
Of course, to be fair, I could pay for the one that doesn't have commercials.
I know. I heard you guys say that. I heard somebody say that before I watched the second one. So I went into it kind of like, oh shit, this is the best one. And then I was like, I think it was the worst one.
Man,
I really like the end.
Dug out.
Well, you're a casual.
Yeah, the ending.
You're a casual.
Totally.
It would appeal.
Yeah,
But I'm a pretty hardcore Stephen King fan. I'm no casual when it comes to, or as I believe my man Fable was saying, Stephen King. I was like, what the fuck am I hearing him say, right?
I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of feel like Scarphead should watch the first Silent Night just because then I don't want like the second one to be ruined for like.
You know what? How about we do this? How about you watch? How about you watch Black Christmas and then Scarphead will watch.
Maybe I'll just watch
five.
what
Goddamn it!
the
Just
watch
watch five.
1 and 2, and I will watch 3.
Yo, who in the
not
chat
watch-
wants to see Dylan watch Black Christmas?
I just will encourage
First off,
anybody: do
He's
not
talking
watch
about the
part
dog
2.
shit one in 2019 or whenever the fuck.
Hold on, Dylan. You haven't even seen that movie. And those
I don't
reviews you
need
shared,
to. I've
they don't
seen
come from
enough
respectable
clips
sources.
on
Okay,
Dead Meat to
so
know.
I'll just tell you this. Whatever you do not watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 as a double feature.
What?
It will annoy the shit out of you. Do not even watch them from one night to the next. It will annoy the shit out of you. 2 works best.
We're gonna be
Watching
running
it
out of nights, bro.
well
We got
far
five.
away.
Awesome
I know. I'm
by
just saying.
itself.
Half of part 2 is just clips from part 1, bruh.
I'll
Like
watch
it's the
2.
most low budget
I'll
bullshit
skip one.
movie they've ever put together.
One
You might as well watch it
then.
then.
On Shudder.
Two is
So.
So
iconic.
let me ask you this: if I watch part 2 before part 1, will I get kind of like a Godfather vibe, man?
This would be like watching the Godfather saga. Is what Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is.
It's garbage day. So which one was better?
Either way, you get to see Linnea Quigley get racked.
Well, Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 is the best, obviously, but 2 is just like straight up like awesomeness cheese. You know what I mean? Like it's so iconic.
Yeah, but you got to get through half of the same shit you just watched.
I know.
That's the only problem, man.
Yeah.
It's like Godfather
just
Coda.
watch 3, 4, and 5.
It's
Just
like
watch 3,
Godfather
4, and
Coda.
5.
It's like
Watch
watching
3, 4,
Godfather
and
3 and
5,
then watching
watch
Coda.
1 and
It's
2
bullshit.
later, a week or 2 later.
There's no difference between Coda and the fucking Godfather 3.
No. So just watch 3, 4, and 5 this week, Scarpad. Then watch 1, and then watch 2 like a week later. But also, I want to do.
Who's this, George Lucas?
That's called Silent Night. That's a good one. There's a remake called The Silent Night, and I like that.
Oh, was that I saw that. I didn't know that was.
It's like a remake, but it's like not
It's
really. You know what I mean?
reimagined.
Like doesn't really
Like Black Christmas.
take anything from the other, like the original, except just a guy in a Santa suit killing people.
I'll tell you what, if Dylan won't do it, we'll do Black Christmas next year on PCP Movie Night.
I thought you
Respect.
did. I could have.
I so did I, because I've seen it. I don't know.
I'm doing the original
Just do
one
both.
next year.
I felt like we did cover the one with the
I remember
Mogan
watching
Poots.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the first remake on my channel last year, and he did the
Oh,
original. There's
that's
2
good.
remakes.
No, the original,
The
yeah.
third-
No,
the second
remember
remake.
the
the
2019 one. Like I could have swore someone covered that.
Nobody here's done it.
I mean,
wasn't-
I'm
wasn't
living
the
in the
second
future.
remake
No,
made for like
I just
Netflix
said
or
there's 2
something?
remakes. There's
The
one
2007 and then
2006 or
2019.
7, and that's
There's
it was
Black
at the
Xmas,
time.
and then
Black Xmas. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
and then there's
Mm.
the woke fucking one from a couple years ago.
Which
that
I
Yeah,
would
with the
never
Mogan Poots,
watch.
even though she's baddie.
But yeah, I want to do the original one next year. But
That'd be
dope.
That'd be dope.
It'd be dope
Let's
to cover
not compare
all 3
it
of
with
them.
Yeah.
You heard
Dylan
it. He
ain't
said
never
yeah.
gonna do that, y'all. Trust me.
No,
He was like,
man.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dead
It's trying for the
Meat
best. We don't want to get
fucking
Dylan
did a-
canceled right as he hits 1K, man. Come on.
Right?
Dead Meat did a freaking he did a kill count for it. That's all I needed to see.
I think if you're doing a horror show, you're uncancelable. You'll actually gain viewers if you piss off the fucking cancel crowd. So
Maybe you should
You
do
can
it,
get more
Dylan.
attention. Yeah.
no. We doing show and
Two
tell.
Guns like there's hardly anything Christmas about these movies.
Hey, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4 is not about Christmas whatsoever. I don't know why it's called that.
It's called The Initiation.
It's about
Try to
giving
make
out the
money.
kills.
Try to make money.
It's about like resurrecting ISIS,
ISIS
like
from
the
70s
Egyptian
cartoon
god,
series?
not like the.
Oh, okay. I might.
Everybody
I'd be
paused. I was
stuck.
like, what?
I was
Nobody
just
knows
stuck.
what ISIS is?
Talk about subverting expectations.
Right.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Thanks for
man.
hanging, Rogue. I'm sure you're gone by now, but
Oh, yeah.
thanks for
I
hanging.
gotta
Rogue.
head out
Thank
too,
you.
man. Guys, man, thanks for having me
Good.
tonight.
Thank
This
you,
was a
Fable, for
great.
staying. I know we stayed longer than you
episode.
wanted.
Yeah, nah, man, it was fun, man. It was worth it. Worth it. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking
You're
about.
worth it,
But
brother. You're worth it.
before I go, man, make sure you give a rewind to Blame Fable and his amazing friends. with Nick Comic Culture over on our IG. We had these two gentlemen, these Dylan's Horror Show gentlemen here, Scarpad and Missing Link. If you love this kind of banter, we had this banter a little earlier, but we were talking about video games, so it was awesome. So check that out, man. And of course, next week we're gonna have my brother Chris from Lost in Comics. You don't want to miss it, man. It's the last show before hiatus.
Hell yeah!
So station, love you guys, man. I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, Fable, go stick that phone in the freezer, man. Cool it off.
Love you, brother. All righty, man. And so let's get into show and tell. Steph, you got anything, my brother, this week?
Yes, sir.
Vern, you got anything?
I actually do. I got a little.
Oh, my boy hasn't been here in like a week. Maybe two, bro. I can't remember.
I got some shit to show you. All right.
You gonna show us your bag of weed?
I know Scarpad got him.
Talking about. First of all, this I keep doing this. I get these Tiny Onion. This is the last one.
You're dubbed to that Tiny Onion subscriber thing?
No, I canceled it, and they sent me this recently. So I'll be honest with you. Once again,
sometimes they're a little late.
I think it's an issue of Something's Killing the Children, but I've fallen behind. But it does complete the set, so it does make for a really nice set of 6.
My nickname in high school, surprisingly, was Tiny Onion.
All right. So we mentioned this movie earlier, and I got this on Fright Rags for $12, baby.
Oh,
nice.
Fucking dope ass.
I paid a full $30 for mine. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
Dude,
so that's
every time, bro. I look every time.
Yeah, that's a dope
sale. They have my size sold out.
But okay, you know what? I was gonna say that because I fucked around. And I bought the Halloween shirt, the Halloween Kill shirt. I got a XXL, kind of a fat fuck. And my fiance, she has a tendency to shrink my shit.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a XXL for this. I bought all these in XXL. I'm like, how big could they be? They're fucking huge.
Yeah, they're pre-shrunk already too, I believe.
Yeah, they're pre-shrunk. But I'm gonna try and shrink them anyway because I don't know, because I got it.
Dude, I have to air dry all my shirts because I'm so fucking tall. Ooh,
this was 24.
That's fire.
Yeah, I got
that.
Awesome,
really wanted this, really bad. So I'm glad I was able to get that.
That's the best Halloween one I've seen them do.
That one's huge, I'm telling you. And then this is so fucking cool, man. I almost bought this recently for like $30, and then they put it on sale for $12.
Nice,
nice. That's a good one.
Vs. Zombie, Lucio Fulci with the Jaws homage. Really, really, really cool.
Dude,
I like that one.
My size is XL, so that's always the first one to sell out. I feel like.
Yeah, you're fucking huge for
a XL and XXL are like the two most popular ones for horror fans.
Right, they sell out real quick.
Yeah.
These are some of them that I picked up. You guys, I think Scarpad maybe pointed that out that this was only $5. I've yet to see it.
Ever since he gave me that Blu-ray site, my fucking wallet is empty.
Dev Patel's a great actor.
It's so funny, like, because I know Robbie loves this movie. If Robbie picks something as like movie of the year, everybody I hear other than Robbie fucking hates it. So after I bought this, I hear nothing negative things about it.
I should have waited.
It's different.
I should have waited because the 4K is like $10 now.
I know.
Did you not say it was movie of the year, Robbie?
No, I did. That was my movie of the year.
Visually, that movie is outstanding.
I'll have to watch it. Of this
terrible cover.
It's like fuck it. Yeah, I know. Bad cover. Got the
doesn't
slip.
come with a different.
Dude, my
it doesn't.
pissed about it.
If I can ever if I can pick up like a cheap Blu-ray, I'll do what Dylan did.
Not as bad as the Poltergeist.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Dylan's slip.
Oh, you can get that Blu-ray for like $5 at Walmart, bro. Just look around in one of those fucking the $3 bins.
That 4K was $9.99, so that was like.
If you guys want to know, if you go up on DVD, this is a website, dvdtalk.com. They have a whole section of the forum that has nothing but artwork you can download to print out of original covers.
That is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's it called?
dvdtalk.com. Go in the forum and you'll see a whole thread for it.
Nice.
I wanted this on 4K for a long time. I kept on waiting for it to go on sale, and then this went on sale, the Blu-ray of Hereditary, for $4.99. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just get this." I only watched this the one time. This is a movie that's like, this is tough to watch twice, but it's phenomenal. It's a fucking fantastic.
I've heard it's good.
movie.
I want to see it,
but it's not nearly as good as this fucking masterpiece, Scarphead. Boom, bitch. Way better than that original.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, where's
Yeah.
the Kevin Bacon 2000 Hollow Man?
So much better. Now, okay, to fill you guys in, I was talking shit in the chat about how this is so much better than the original. You can't lie to yourself and say that it's not. And then I'm like, am I talking shit? Am I full of shit? So I went back and watched the original. And I'm not talking shit at all. That's not good. It's not a good movie.
Fuck you, man.
It's a fantastic movie. It's not a good movie.
The biggest piece of shit.
No, it's not.
I like the remake, but don't slight James Whale and his compliments the original.
I can't believe
I want to see the original man in it.
Far superior movies within a couple years ago.
Can you let
Scarpad's not going to shut up now, man. Just so you know. Thank you.
This movie's fucking great. We should definitely cover this as soon as possible.
I'm kind of offended you guys haven't mentioned Kevin Bacon.
I might cancel Silent Night just so we can fucking see Scarpad have a aneurysm.
We already did that, man. We did that on PCP movie night, man. That was a fun shit.
Some people like these are shit
didn't do it on
movies.
Dylan Porter's show.
It's subjective. You know,
it's not. It's fact.
No, it's subjective. Subjective.
Dude,
I guess
that movie probably is gonna launch the Universal Monsters fucking like a whole fan movie.
And it will fucking suck. So there you go.
That's ridiculous.
Oh really? Because Tom Cruise's Mummy was better.
No,
are we all in agreement that Hollow Man was the best though?
It was better than
Fuck
that.
no, Steph. Get out of
I
here.
think Invisible Man. I don't remember Hollow Man.
Hollow Man is awesome.
That's great.
It's not better than
Kevin Bacon.
Hollow Man is awesome.
Let's see. Go watch that guy that does those.
I never showed you my boo bucket. I got a boo bucket.
Oh,
that's a McPumpkin, buddy. That's not a McPumpkin.
That guy that does the pitch meetings. Go watch his pitch meeting.
What it's called?
Yeah, it's a McPumpkin. It's McWitch, McPumpkin, and McBoo.
Was that all you had, Vern?
Yeah, that's what I got, brother.
I forgot. I didn't want to keep you up there. All right, Scarpad, let's go. I like your Wolfman shirt, by the way. I got my Wolfman hoodie on.
I might be too fucking pissed off now to do anything, but that's nice. That's really nice. What's on the front of it?
Nothing. That's the one thing I don't like. Don't put nothing on the front.
It should be something like a wolf head or something.
Oh, dude, for our $50 fucking hoodie, it should.
Right.
Because there's another website that does it, but they put they'll put something like on the front. Like if it's a Michael Myers one, it's got the picture on the back, but it'll have like a pumpkin on the front, like anything. For a $50 hoodie, it's like, come on.
All right, so
go ahead.
Let me gather my thoughts back together. I'm kind of incensed.
Take a sip of that. Take a sip of that THC drink.
No, this is ultra. I don't know why I bought Michelob Ultra, man. It tastes like dishwater.
Has it got coffee in it?
No.
You're all out of the coffee, huh?
All right, we'll start off with this. I showed this, but this is Mr. Benjamin Sisko.
Ooh.
From Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Man, tell me that does not look like fucking Avery Brooks, man.
Yeah, that face is on point.
A really dead ringer. And then he's got, of course, the magnetic stuff in his crotch area. And it comes with all sorts of stuff. So it's a cool
What's that brand again, Scarpad?
XO6.
Yeah.
And all they do is Trek figures. And
they do good shit, man. I wish they would do the Next Generation, not the movies, the TV show.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of even the original TV show ones aren't gonna get made. They're mostly doing movie stuff. I think they got Spock coming out, the motion picture coming out this week. All right, so besides him, picked up a few Blu-rays.
A few.
Got Tom Baker's season 6 of Doctor Who. I was missing this one. This one.
Nice.
This one has the complete hidden story Shadow that was filmed but never released, part of it. And then I never watched this, no, not even once. Maybe once.
That's surprising.
But Dylan made me buy it here, so I picked up.
It was 20.
It was like $20, and
oh, nice.
I watched it 70, so I'll check it out. Is this a Chuck
Lorre
show? Is this the same guy who did Big Bang Theory or no?
Oh, I hope no. It's so much better than Big Bang.
Yeah, thank you.
Although I didn't mind the first 3-4 years of Big Bang Theory was all right.
Plus, they got that 90s show coming out, but it looks fucking stupid. But they bring back Red and Kitty.
Yeah.
No, apparently
they have the bad guy from RoboCop in that.
But they're not gonna have any of the other kids probably. Right?
No, I thought Topher Grayson. They're all set to make appearances and shit, except for the dude with the curly hair because he's got some
I picked
legal
up
shit.
Dylan got one of these too, the '80s Twilight Zone complete series.
Yeah,
and while it's not as good as the original, it has a lot of good episodes in it, so that's well worth getting.
It needs a Blu-ray update, but
you'll never get
never
a
happen.
Yeah,
never.
A movie that is kind of similar to the whole home invasion, sort of, and of course it's superior to all the movies you watch for home invasion is Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn and Alan Arkin. Nice. She plays a blind woman and she overhears something and the killers come into her apartment and she turns a table on them. This is a hell of a flick.
Really? What year is that from? Like the 70s?
1967.
Nice.
And I could see Dylan's Horror Show doing this because it is a horror movie. Really good. I picked up this cheap Rogue One.
Nice.
Hells yeah.
Although everybody raves about Cassian Andor and the guy doing it, but he's so kind of bland, don't you think?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I mean,
I loved him in this movie. I still haven't watched the show, but I liked him in this.
K2. It was the best.
Yes.
Well, he's a droid.
I agree.
I think the Invisible Man remake's better than Rogue
One. And then this week we got the Tarantino 4K Pulp Fiction.
Very nice.
Nice.
It's a great cover.
Slip.
I'm disappointed the Slip doesn't have Uma Thurman's feet on it.
And then season 3 of Creep Show with Slip, Dylan, see?
Yep.
That's a nice raise.
I wish season 2 came with the Slip.
Okay, man. Harrison Ford, Patriot Games in 4K.
Very nice.
Sean Bean. Gotta love some Sean Bean. This is a classic, kind of bad film, but I have my collection. Megaforce, 1982, with Barry Bostwick and Persis Khambatta from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This is a Hal Needham, kind of like a very stunt-orientated movie from 1982.
It looks like that should be Chuck Norris on the cover. It's not.
Yeah, I know. Picked this up at the Aero sale. This looked interesting. Nightmare at Noon. It's a 70s echo horror movie.
About day drinking.
About scientists poison a well and then something happens. But it looked interesting, so I picked that up. And it was cheap. Of course, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Nice.
Warner Collection. This is a interesting movie because the woman goes to 50 feet because of a giant UFO alien comes down and puts the whammy on her. Most of the movie is kind of like a 50s mob movie with a giant 50-foot woman. So it's a good movie for the 50s. Now I got these. I never saw these. These things were highly rated. And I saw the first one. I have not watched the second one, and I did enjoy it. It was The Barn. And I was able to get...
That's a sweet slip.
The one that's signed by the cast crew. And you notice this little girl's name right here, Linnea.
Oh.
Linnea Quigley action on that front cover. There you go.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool B horror movie. I'm only halfway through it.
It was fun. They spent like all the money on one scene, but it was good. And Linnea's all right. She's in it a little bit.
The guys are pretty cool.
Barn 2. Of course,
I figured it had to be pretty good if it got a sequel, because those were crowdfunded too, I believe.
They both were, yeah.
Yeah.
I got this at the Dollar General. Like
who's shopping at Dollar General now?
I know, but I'm not buying electrical components there. I was surprised I found a Hostels 4K there for like $3.
Dude, I can't believe they had a 4K.
They had 2 4Ks. I bought them both. Hostels.
That's a good movie.
That's a really good movie.
Really good one. And this probably is a big piece of shit. The Hurricane Heist.
How did that get a 4K?
I know this gets a 4K. I think it's by the guys who did Fast and Furious. I'm
surprised it didn't come with the slip.
No slip at the Dollar General.
That's crazy.
I've gotten the slip here and there on DVDs.
It's hard to buy fucking anything.
And then
yes, you will.
It was $2.95. $2.95.
And at the
Dollar General.
And then I got my slip redo of Dune. So now
it's not chewed up by a dog.
Not chewed up by a dog.
The fuck,
It's not true. I won't buy anything because that piece of shit Invisible Man is not in my collection.
Yeah, I told
Just wait till you find it at the Dollar General.
I won't even buy it. I'll buy it to burn it. I'll buy it and I'll come on here.
You fucking fascist. I
would like to point out, I wouldn't have known about this movie unless Scarpad's the one that posted the sale in the horror group, and now he's talking shit about
I was gonna say, man, he did.
I want to spread the word.
Is that all you guys
getting paid by Amazon?
If I make a movie about a fucking Invisible Man, this dude right here, who's megalomaniacal,
that's cool, man.
I don't want to know about his girlfriend that he beats. You know what I mean?
What? There's nothing in that story that is worth fucking defending.
They made
half of that movie, the original
movies.
The original Invisible Man is a fucking classic, and it's one of the
classic because it's old.
No, it's one of the first horror comedies. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. It's not meant to be taken serious. But whatever. I mean,
look,
I like.
They made 20 movies about an Invisible Man.
What about Hollow Man?
Why can't they make a movie?
I fucking hate Hollow Man, Steph. Stop.
This was like
I think
3 years
Scarpad's missing the point of that movie.
It was 3 years after Sound.
About a woman being scared shitless about her abusive ass, crazy ass
It's too fucking woke, like Black Christmas, Dylan. It's
Kevin Bacon, though.
Dude, you cannot compare Invisible Man to fucking that shit can Black Christmas.
The movie you haven't watched.
Dude, I've seen enough on it. Dead Meat literally shows you like a third of the fucking movie.
Steve Arno, he gets so mad when you bring it up that he hasn't watched it. I've seen enough of it.
I don't need to watch dog shit.
To be true, Dylan, you really
yo, I don't need it. Yo, do you watch your dog take a shit and you have to inspect it to know that it's dog shit?
Even I watched the piece of shit Invisible Man before I can say it's truly bad.
How are you for sure though if you don't check?
Bro, I saw a third of it. That's all I need to see.
Dylan
I don't need to waste my time with that other two-thirds.
This was a bad movie after all. My world is destroyed.
Everybody
got,
tonight,
Robbie?
this has been great.
Get off
all right,
this goddamn Black Christmas conversation.
My turn.
Yes, sir. I love
my
your
good
shirt,
friends
by
at
the
Dynamite, who had a major week this week with the release of Gargoyles. Our good friends at Dynamite sent me this. It's a Batman Hidden Treasures. If anybody remembers this, really cool. Look, it's got work from Bernie Wrightson, Kevin Nolan, Ron Mars. That's really cool. It's signed by Ron Mars, but it's also signed by Lynn Wein, who is no longer with us. So Nick Barucci, knowing I'm a huge fan, hooked me up. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
Dynamite. That's awesome. This came out like a couple months ago, but I finally did pick up my copy of Red Room Trigger Warnings.
I
have all the original issues, but the trade is here. If you like horror and you want to get into comics, this is where you go. Check out Red Room. This is book 2, but you can read this on its own. Each issue is self-contained. One of my favorite comics on stands.
Hell yeah. It's great.
I bought this. It came out this week. The Lowbrow Art of Robert Williams. So this is you're not monetized. So anyway, this is Robert Williams was an underground artist back in the days of like alternative comics in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? So he did work in Zap Comics. So this is his quote unquote lowbrow art, but it's some badass shit. Look at that. Nice. Lots of cool psychedelic type shit, pinup girl type shit. And it's got some of his strips from Zap Comics. An amazing artist. So really cool to have this piece of comic art history. And then I randomly got this Blu-ray in this week, Burial Ground. And so I messaged Scarpat. I was like, "Did you send me this shit?" He goes, "Hell yeah, man." And I was like, "Thank you." He's like, "Just wait till we watch it." And we're going to be covering this soon on Dylan's Horror Show.
Oh, boy.
The Scarpat, thank you so much for sending me this. Is this an Italian horror film?
Yeah. It is Italian.
And I've never seen it. And I've heard you guys talk about it. And I'm really excited to check this out. Like, to be honest with you.
You're going to love it.
It's fantastic.
I just might. And then I got this in this week, The Prowler.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got that.
Nice.
It's not the greatest film, but it's got some of the most gnarly kills that Tom Savini's ever done.
Mean-spirited kills.
That Burial Ground movie really sheds a light on adult breastfeeding.
Okay. So did Game of Thrones. But The Prowler is like has the best shower death scene outside of Psycho. Because it just keeps going. It goes on and on. And then here's my final one is this is my first I guess this is my first wound in watching In Search of Darkness 3. In Search of Darkness 3 has so many movies I've never heard of. And as soon as they talked about this movie, I got on Amazon. I fucking bought it. I watched it. I loved it. Eyes of Fire.
Yeah.
Which is a folk horror film. This movie's really good. I really
remember them talking about that one.
Yeah, they talk about this like 1985 or something, maybe.
Movie?
It's 1984. So rewatch it. They talk about this movie. Visually fucking striking, right? Visually striking. It's a folk horror. I think, dude, Robert Eggers picked a lot of the witch out from this. It's about early Americans, colonial Americans, like being excommunicated or leaving their community and going out into the wilderness to make their own thing, and they come across a supernatural force. This movie's really good. Like, I really like it. It's a little cheesy, but it's really good. Eyes of Fire. I really like that. So that was my first casualty that I had to purchase something from In Search of Darkness 3, and it did not disappoint. So
nice.
That movie's fucking awesome. We should cover that sometime, y'all, if it's available anywhere. I've never heard of this film, never ever. But from the visuals that I saw, I had to get it. It's all about like people like are getting taken by this witch, and then she absorbs their souls into fucking trees. So all the trees have like human faces. It's legitimately like creepy. If I would have watched this as a kid, it would have scared the fucking shit out of me.
They said in that documentary that it never really was released, and the director had the only copy, and they went to him to get a copy to show what they showed.
Well, so, I'm glad they did, and I'm glad that Severn Films has put this out, because this is awesome. I can't believe I've never heard of this film. This is really good, and you don't get a lot of folk horror in the 80s. In that 80s horror wave, there's not a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the 70s with shit like Wicker Man and stuff like that, right? In the 80s, the closest we get is like what, Halloween 3? You know, there's some other examples, but like this is actually really fucking good. And I'm telling you, man, if Robert Eggers didn't watch this movie and didn't get inspired by this movie to make The Witch, somehow he tapped into the exact same fucking zone of psychedelic experience that this movie's trying to fucking do. I loved it. I loved it so much, man. Don't expect too much of it though, but it's really good.
But there was a monster in that movie though, wasn't there? There was a monster.
There's like the witch, and the way that they show like human biology mixed with like the vegetation. Yeah. I fucking love it, man. It does a lot of that, like where they switch to the negative, you know, like when you got your first VHS camcorder and you can hit the negative button to make things look weird. They do some of that, but they do it really well. I'm telling you, and great music. Y'all, I'm telling you, watch Eyes of Fire. This movie, I think I'm one of like 300 people that have seen that movie. It's fucking awesome. I fucking love it. I thought it was great.
I love folklore horror.
Yeah, you definitely want to check this one out, man.
Available on Prime right now for $24.95. $24.49.
Oh, God damn, that's fucking.
Severn's got it.
That's a pricey digital purchase.
Well, that would have probably came with a big slip of the seven.
All right.
So.
Well, last but not least, then, I'd already picked up season 1 and 2 a while back, so no slip, of course. But so I had to. And I wasn't even gonna get this. I was gonna just wait because I was like, I don't even give a fuck about the slip at this point. But it went down to like $16, so I was like, I'll just snag it, bro. But nice embossed slip for sure. Great series too. And this was like $5. No, I was hoping Disney would do it 4K because it's 25th anniversary of Home Alone 2 this year. And
I heard that movie was inspired by Your Next Home Alone.
Yeah, I heard that. I was hoping to get the 4K for this one to go with it, but Disney don't really give some shits about it. So for $5,
you think they would put one out?
Yeah. But for $5,
it's so crazy because they're alone in New York in that movie.
Yeah,
right.
They're in New York.
He's not
they
really
go from the wet bandits
New York,
to
you know.
Who
would have thought about
it? Home Alone. It's Home Alone.
Tim Curry is in that fucking movie, man.
Yep. Donald Trump is in that movie.
Donald Trump is in that fucking movie.
Obviously, shout out to Gun for sending your next. Thank you, brother. Snag these up because they were like, I think this was like $6 or something, and they came with
nice.
The only three I like.
Don't
movie 1, 2,
skip
and 3.
2.
1 and
What?
2 are.
Oh my god, I can't fucking stand
Oh.
2.
Man.
Yeah.
1 and 3 are
Another one
masterpieces.
My favorite thing about that whole franchise is I've never seen somebody like blown to the wall by semen.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about
You haven't been to one of my parties.
There's a lot of shit you never see, but they're
Said the
in
tiny
movie,
onion.
that's for sure.
Yeah, I've never been to one of
cannot
those
believe-
swinger parties.
I had a feeling this might come with the slip, but I wasn't sure until it came. But I'm so glad it did. Fucking Ridley Scott's Gladiator
Nice.
on
Are you not
4K.
entertained?
Dude, snagged
that
for
movie, man.
freaking $10, dude. So good. I had to watch. I watched it the other day. Still so good.
You should
love
make,
that movie.
you should
It
make a
comes
sequel
with
to that.
the extended cut and the
Nice.
regular director's cut or whatever that came
And
out
the
in
sequel
theaters.
We need to
was-
cover that on
was
PCP
recent.
Movie Night. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. I love
Yeah,
that.
that'd be a
It's
good one, Robbie.
so
Yeah.
fucking good, bro. So goddamn good.
That's when I discovered Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, same here. I was just
And
gonna.
I was
a lot of
working at the
people did,
movie
man.
theater when that came out, and I started
A lot
watching
of people
every
did.
Russell Crowe movie I could. And then that's when I remembered that he was the
And-
dude in
and-
Virtuosity. That's when the first time I
Yeah.
watched Stomper. Like, dude,
Virtuosity.
And even though it was cut short, Oliver Reed was fucking killing that movie.
Oh yeah.
yes, he was.
Also picked up the Goonies.
Hell
I might
yeah.
have showed this last week. I can't remember, but that was real cheap, so had to snag the 4K.
Goonies
Also
never.
got Fifth Element because I figured
Yeah.
Scarpad will pick it up, review it on his channel for sci-fi.
Great movie.
Also didn't get got a copy of Dune on 4K that wasn't
Liking
shooting
what I'm
by a
saying.
dog.
Pop Dune.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Godzilla versus Kong. Speaking of Adam Wingard, dude, it was like
That's not a bad movie.
So many
like $8 for the
unnecessary
4K.
actors in that movie.
Bro,
True, yeah.
the movie is not
Yeah.
that bad.
Bro, let's be honest, man.
Yeah,
They
I
literally
know.
solved the movie
I-
by dropping a Pepsi
Ghostbusters
on a
4K.
control panel.
Had this
Right.
for 10.
Is
Yeah,
that one
I
and
had
two?
the second
Or
one,
is it
but
just one?
dude, they
Oh.
don't even come with a digital copy, and like the second one was way too much, so I sent that shit back. So I
Plus,
just
that
got the
movie
first one
sucked.
on 4K. Dude, it doesn't suck. The fucking one with all the women sucks,
It's no Invisible Man, but it sucks.
bro.
Two doesn't
Yeah,
suck.
no, you're tripping. All right, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're like, we're talking about the guy that freaking watches all these B horror movies, and you say
King of the
that.
Spiders, baby.
It was the
King
same-
of the
Kingdom
Spiders.
of the Spiders,
It was the
everybody.
Kingdom of-
same-
yeah.
it was the
That's what
same movie
thank
as
you for
one.
bringing that one up.
It was the
Yeah,
same
but
movie
dude,
as
I was
one,
happy as hell
baby.
to get this.
Same
No
movie.
digital
That's-
code.
Dylan's
man. What the fuck,
retroactively
Sonny?
dropping his rating on Kingdom of the Spiders right now.
I know, right? I can't believe though that Sony doesn't give a fucking digital code with this. Like, what
Right.
the fuck?
Weird.
Sony's
That is
broke.
so weird. But my man Scarpad sent these my way, and these will definitely will get reviewed at some point on the horror show. Darren McGavin's The Night Stalker,
Night Stalker, nice.
Very cool.
and
Very cool.
the sequel, Darren McGavin's The Night Strangler.
Ooh,
That's the
nice.
father from Christmas Story. So you
Not
guys
as
know
cool.
before he
these are
strangled.
classic.
Looks
This
like
was
a-
these are real good films. Some early horror, and that's 72 and 73 right there. And speaking of Christmas coming, baby, Scream Factory just released the 4K for the
Nice.
original Black Christmas. Love this cover.
Oh.
Was so bummed, man. I wanted to get the poster for it, but right when I was gonna get it, it sold out on Scream Factory. So I'd have liked to
I
have
bet
the
you-
poster.
Doesn't terrify
I think
you.
there's like a
Your skin's
3-pack
on.
deal. You can get all 3 films for
I already own the one I need, but I do need Black Xmas. But dude, the 4K scan on this is fucking gorgeous. Showed it to my girl for the first time,
Didn't they remake that
and
one a few years
she kind of
ago?
let me down, giving it a fucking 3 out of 5, bro. Like, what the fuck?
I'm not surprised, dude. That movie, it takes you got to acclimate to it, but it's a fucking
Yeah.
masterpiece.
And I
Yeah.
could tell because she kept looking at her phone here and there, you know. But dude, I mean, for her to say 3 out of 5, that's still that's not.
That's
too
solid, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
tell,
a
y'all
movie
what,
that
I'll tell you what. I was watching Joe Bob talk about Black Christmas, the original, today while I was working, and I was getting pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, anybody who
Good.
doesn't think that's the most masterful fucking slasher film of all time, get out of my fucking.
well, you got to put it in
Yeah,
perspective that it
yeah.
came out before
It's so fucking
fucking
good.
Halloween and everything else. Like,
Yeah,
Bob
it's
did
more
not like it.
subtle.
Dude, it's so fucking good. I don't understand anybody that says it's not fucking anything but like.
Joe Bob just doesn't like
4 and
anything
higher.
that came out after Texas Chainsaw Massacre in that year.
And-
Let's be honest.
Last but not least, had to
Oh,
snag
hell
these up.
yes.
They went on sale. The Mummy.
Right, you even got the
I'm-
Jet Li one.
Yeah, well, there's no choice. It just comes.
Say it like that.
I would have rather taken the Scorpion King than that one, but
yeah, no. Really.
Oh my god, talk about shit CGI, bro. The Rock looks so bad.
I tell you though, this is one of the weirdest ways to put Blu-rays in, like, because it had like they're really hard to pull out, and they
that's one of those bad books.
That's some bullshit, man.
They're really hard to kind of pull out, but I'm thinking over time because they have like magnetic things in it. Like this, it has a magnetic closer, but
it's erasing the disc. So you use it.
Yeah, man, there's some cool artwork, you know. But dude, I tell you, man, let me see here. I'll try to show you. They might be a little, dude. These actually, this isn't going to show justice because I think after pulling them out a few times, I loosened it up. But that's what she said, you know. But dude, here, let me show you a pull out.
Here. Show us how you pull out, Dylan. Show us how you pull out.
I never took one out, bro. And that, dude, they're kind of you gotta pull on them, bro.
You gotta use the middle finger. Is that the trick?
You gotta use the middle finger, bro. And a little bit of the, you know.
I saw a little flick motion going. Yeah,
basically
a little bit of the index and a little bit of the middle.
It's gonna be your most viewed clip on YouTube. Is like, well, what's the finger technique?
Yeah, right. Can you do that in slow motion?
Robbie, did you say clip?
Yeah, I said clip. I am the clip master.
I am the clip commander.
Don't condescend to
commander,
me.
Yeah.
I'm the clip master.
Clip, man. You get some artwork on. Funny though, they ended up using the freaking artwork for the third one for the front. Like,
because Jet Li.
You know, the third one is decent enough to own.
Yeah,
you got all three. I don't own it, and if I found it for like $2.95 at Dollar General, I might pick it up.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I wouldn't pick up Hurricane Ice.
They instead of putting the Blu-rays in there, they should have just done the Mummy, the Movie Returns, and the Scorpion King all on 4K. They should have just done 4 discs. I didn't need the Blu-rays.
These guys are gonna do a heist. They're gonna do a heist during a Category 5 hurricane. Now, who would do that?
Sci-Fi Channel.
Well, you're gonna find out, Scarpad.
Yeah,
I will.
So
I'll just wait till we get Scarpad's fucking
savage action movie,
fucking disaster movie show. Or some shit.
So Scarpad, what you got coming out this Monday that you're reviewing before we get out of here, brother?
I'm gonna be reviewing Invisible Man.
Whoa! Don't show us those pajama pants, Scarpad. I can't handle that. Hey, baby.
Let me find my pajama pants, man.
Hey, they look good. That's my problem.
It's gonna be a little Clockwork Orange.
Nice.
And
Very
I think Dylan and Steph will be there. Anybody else wants to show up? I think that's who the lineup we have right at the moment. So should be good. Should be interesting.
But I remember one I had on VHS for a while called Clockwork Orgy. That was really good. Like, and if you don't think that's a real movie, look it up. It's really good.
I had one called Cockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Oh,
that might have been a ripoff.
Every one of those movies, they always have
bootlegs in the
90s. The shit, man. Trust me, there's some really good stuff in that one. I wish that was available on 4K.
That's a good pick, Scarpad.
So,
wait, Scarpad, are you doing Clockwork Orange, Clockwork Orange, or Clockwork Orgy? Which one are you doing?
Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
yeah, that one's it's a little rough.
Yeah. Robbie, what you got coming out this Monday? Well, after Scarpad's review.
For this year, we're doing 2 Christmas movie nights. We actually did 3 because Guardians came out. We forgot about it, but it came out. And we're doing some of my favorite Christmas movies. So last week we talked about Go, and this week we're talking about a Tim Burton Christmas classic, Batman Returns. A little-known film starring Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken. And dare I say, my favorite cinematic Batman villain might be Max Schreck, portrayed by Christopher Walken. I mean, come on. If she tries to blackmail me, I'll toss her out of a higher window. In the meantime, I got bigger fish to fry.
I love his hair.
Good stuff.
Such a
it's going to be a fun show. Steph's going to be there,
and don't forget Pee Wee Herman's at the beginning of it. So
exactly. It's a great movie and the best interpretation of the Penguin ever. And I'll stand by that. I want that to be on my tombstone. Danny DeVito's Penguin and Tim Burton's Batman Returns is the best incarnation of the Penguin of all time. Because I think that statement's going to last for all time.
1980.
Pretty sure Robbie did Gremlins last year on his channel.
We did Gremlins 2 years ago when we did Black Christmas and Gremlins. Then last year we did Scrooged and Muppet Christmas Carol. We did unconventional interpretations of A Christmas Carol. This year we're doing two of my favorites, Go and Batman Returns. Next year, we're going back into horror at Christmas on PCP Movie Night, and I've already got some ideas. In fact, I'll go ahead and announce this. Next year, a year from now on PCP Movie Night, we're talking about Christmas Evil. So there you go.
Hell yeah. That'll be a good
and
one.
maybe Black Christmas from 2019 or whatever the fuck.
Well,
I really think that probably starting this year. I mean, I really enjoyed Violent Night. I think that's really going to pop up in a lot of lists as one of the better action horror genre movies for Halloween.
And Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys, dude. When I watched Christmas, Bloody Christmas on Shudder, it was like, it was like not lagging. I don't know what to say, but the blacks were all pixelated and shit. Did you guys have
that? Was because they shot it on like 16.
That's part of the compression.
Yeah, Steph said if it was shot on 16 millimeter on an HD or 4K TV, it's going to look a little gritty and rough and gritty.
It looked very gritty. I mean, it was cool. The lighting in it is
VFW
cool.
movie.
You should watch fucking Heartland of Darkness. Okay, that's like a SD remaster from the 16 millimeter, bruh.
Rough.
That was rough.
Well, I just figured it was brand new. It came out on Shutter. I'm like, is this me or am I? Or,
yeah,
I didn't know if
I had to look it up because
you're intentionally looking. People are like, horror on VHS is a big thing right now.
Right.
And people want it to look gritty because sometimes these kills look more realistic on VHS.
It was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it.
Like, you can see Kevin Bacon's makeup in Friday the 13th Part 1. Right?
Mm-hmm.
As much of an actor as that fucker is, right? But like, you get to see that, right? But like, if you watch that on VHS, it looks real. It looks more gnarly, right? That's why I love the Prowler so much, because the Prowler, even on HD here, all those kills look fucking amazing. That movie sucks, by the way. The kills are amazing.
The movie The Barn with Linnea Quigley, that was shot intentionally with the grain and the little sparklies through the whole movie to make it look like that 80s stuff. They did that whole thing.
Even when I watched Eyes of Fire, they kept the cigarette burns in there, which I thought were really, really a cool little additional feature. Like, and a lot of us that are like big, somewhat casual fans of horror and have been our whole lives, we love that grainy, gritty kind of grindhousey.
Well, that's Scarpad's giving me shit because I said I like my Friday the 13th DVD set. He wanted to puke on that, but I appreciate it.
There's a difference between low resolution and shooting a movie on something like 60 millimeters so you get the grain and stuff. Just that low resolution.
Well, Scarpad, let's be honest. If you really want the full fucking experience, if you want the best image, you got to have a film projector, bruh. You got to have your own movie theater, man. Yeah, and you ain't got that. Digital can't compare to film and what you can do there.
Yeah.
Film, the original HD. Can we make some public service announcements?
DVDs still outsell every format out there now, and it's still the most popular format. So
no shit.
Because you can get them full screen.
DVD, yeah. Everyone still fucks with DVDs.
What's that?
Crazy.
No, everyone fucks with DVDs.
I just bought a DVD. Like, I bought 2 DVDs within the last few months. I bought Surf Ninjas because it's only available on DVD. And I just bought Party Girl because I was going through this fucking Parker Posey thing again. And I was like, I don't have Party Girl. And I looked it up and it's not on Blu-ray. So I had to buy a fucking DVD. Luckily, those are cheap.
Yeah.
You can buy a CD, by the way, for like a penny. So y'all know. It's easy. It's easy now. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
I still buy CDs.
Stop being such snobs, everybody. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what Verno's saying.
Yeah. Well, alrighty, fellas.
That's what Dylan's saying. Scarpad, though, man, stop being so fucking pretentious.
Well, as always, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight, chilling for 2.5 hours. You guys are the best, man. We appreciate it as always. Definitely come check us out Monday night on Scarpad's channel, 7:45 Eastern, I believe it's going to be. And then go check out Robbie's channel, Yeah, so we're doing Clockwork Orange on Scarpad's channel, 7:45. Then Robbie will be doing Batman Returns for PCP movie night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Such a great movie, man.
Hell yeah, two great movies on a great Monday night, man. Don't miss it. You're not gonna want to. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. And then come back and hang out with us next Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern for Silent
Bangers.
Night 3, 4, and 5. It might be a little rough, but we gonna make it a fun ass time. Best believe that. So
we watched Kingdom of Spiders and Storm of the Century. So best believe.
Oh, just wait, brother.
I was about to say somebody earlier said your neck seemed a little draggy. Man, your neck felt like 5 minutes to me after watching Storm of the Century.
Straight up.
That might be true with 3, 4, and 5 too.
It was shorter than the first episode of 3 of Storm of the Century. I'll just say that, okay? And got a lot more done in its entirety.
I'm looking forward to watching the replay tomorrow while I'm at work because I
see Dylan's heart getting broken over and over, and Scarpat getting mad about the Invisible Man.
I think I watched 3, 4, and 5 on Tubi so I can watch it with commercials.
Oh, you're gonna hate it even more then. But Brian Yuzna did direct 4.
Why would you assume I'm gonna hate it?
He produced 5. He produced part 5 as well.
Alrighty. So thank you guys as always. We love y'all. We will see you next week. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you Monday night. If not, we'll see you Saturday night. Peace out, y'all. Stay safe. We love you.
Pop, pop.
Thank you.